Yeah, I think what's gonna happen is because we've been slowly drifting apart is we're each gonna launch our
Hmm.
individual podcast. So there's just gonna be three podcasts of us all talking into
Yeah.
the void.
You
And
can take that idea and you can shelve that, please.
why? Sounds great.
I want to
This is
drift
our
apart.
Mm.
like when a band breaks up and everybody starts their
Yeah.
side projects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just solo projects, yeah. I think we should all have like different flavors though. Like Dex can
Hmm.
be like the person that talks about numbers.
Yeah.
Heghmoh can be like the fun laid back one, and I'll just be there
Hmm.
like you know the meme from Always Sunny where Charlie's like manically like
Oh, got
playing out
like all
his
the
conspiracy
threads.
theories. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be mine.
Hmm.
So, are you
That
calling
sounds good.
Heghmoh Danny DeVito? Like, what's happening?
He can be Danny
I'll take
DeVito if he
it.
wants to.
I would
Yeah,
love to
yeah,
be
absolutely.
Danny DeVito.
You just go in and
Hell
start
yeah.
blasting.
I
Oh,
think you just called me
Jesus.
Simon Says too in the same sentence.
Okay. Welcome back everybody to episode 28 of the Blurred podcast. I think it's 28.
That's right. Happy
Happy
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day.
I hope everybody's cuffed up for the season and or
Hell,
at least has like some other outlet that they enjoy doing on Valentine's Day.
also hell,
Hmm. Hmm.
XCP is single and ready to mingle. Send your emails in.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, to the 0.05% of women that listen to this podcast,
Yeah.
DexCP is single, and let me tell you, he is very, very good at making that gill. So if you're
Oh,
looking,
wow.
please send all of your letters to blurredpodcast
Yeah, if
at
we could
gmail.com
actually, that would
or
be, we
blurredxi.
should have solicited, we should have solicited this last week or the week
Mhm.
before, but we didn't
Mm,
realize at the time. It would have been great if we could have just gotten people to send in their like love letters to Dex.
yeah. Well, I mean, I already sent him one, but also we're just
Yeah.
generally kind of bad at planning stuff, so
Hmm.
The
yeah, it
love
kind of
letters
makes
I
sense.
get are like, "Dear Dex, Heghmoh is so handsome."
So I had somebody message me on Azura the other day. I think it was last Saturday, and he was like, "Hey, where's the podcast this weekend?" And I just said, "Oh, we canceled it permanently." And then but anyway, we're back. So,
Someone quit
uh,
Final Fantasy that day.
yeah. Yeah. Well, they sent a sad face, and I was like, yeah, I'm just joking. Like, it's fine. Relax. Um, but anyway, we've got a bunch of stuff planned today. Um, I gotta admit, I do have some plans for Valentine's Day this evening.
Really?
So, yeah, yeah.
So wait, we're not.
So,
You got a hard stop.
yeah, I got a hard stop. Granted, it's like 3 hours, so hopefully that doesn't we don't run over that mark. But
I thought you guys
sometimes we
had a
do.
cute Mithra, a cute Elven chick, and a cute Hume female lined up for a dating show with me.
Oh, that's next week. Just stay tuned. We'll get there.
Oh, fair enough.
Or not. I
Because
can't tell
I
you.
know for a fact Shiraj changed to a female Elven, so I thought you were
Oh,
That's
splitting
nice.
crazy. That's crazy. I think
Was that just for, is he fell for the Square Enix trap where they conveniently finally added race change and then started adding
So,
race-based rewards to things?
mhm.
depending on who asks him, you may get that answer, but I've heard multiple
Okay.
answers from him. And
Yeah.
then the last time I ran Limbus with him, he was like, "You know what? The perspective of Elven is so good." And I was like, "Welcome to the."
Oh, nice.
I like my favorite part about the Limbus like race changing stuff that's going on is it's exposing all the gooners because like the people that change from like Taru male to like Elven female,
Mm.
they're doing it just so they can like goon off a little bit in the game.
The people when
Yeah,
there's one.
it's like this is my excuse to be a fucking degenerate. And I get it, just live your online fantasies, guys. Go
You know
crazy.
what's so sad about this whole debacle? Like everyone gives Shiraz shit, everyone, because
Right.
Yeah.
he rolled
Yeah.
it. He's gotten more shit this week than ever.
Well, I mean,
For the race
sometimes,
change. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
like
sometimes it's
I was
about the
also
a,
loot.
female Taro for a little bit.
Mhm.
People who don't know him are like, "You freaking Dalmal neck, why are you doing this?"
Yeah, I've seen a lot
Don't
of
be
the
racist.
long
Come on.
neck memes in your Discord this week.
Yep.
It's pretty wild.
I heard something happened, Shraj, and then they send like a fucking giraffe.
Oh my god, that's crazy. So mean.
I
What
think
have you guys been
Elvon are
up
cool,
to?
personally.
Mm, mm. What have you guys been up
Question.
to the last couple of weeks? How's the Limbus grind going?
I wish it was going faster.
Um, yeah, I'm starting to like lose my motivation. I'm
Yeah.
increasingly like when they did the change where they,
Mhm,
like added in chests, they added in rewards. I was like back into five out of five, 10 out of 10 every single week for
mhm.
like a few weeks. Last week I did all my Temenos, and then like Saturday I was like, you know what? Okay, we can do this. We're gonna power through. We'll set to 119. We're gonna grind through Apollyon today. We'll do 5 chests. And
Mhm.
like by the end of the day, I was like losing my mind.
Oh shit.
Today, I still have all 5 of my Apollons to do, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna go in.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
Anybody?
I believe in you. You guys can do it. I I was feeling pretty good about it at the beginning of this week. I finished all of my Limbus runs early this week, and I finished the day before yesterday. And yesterday I logged in and I was like, what do I do with myself? I don't I don't
Oh yeah,
even know
that
what to
is a
do
problem.
anymore. Um
If you do all of your runs like early in the week,
mhm.
there was one week like when they first added the chess where I finished on like a Wednesday, and I was streaming and I was on Saturday. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely have the opposite problem.
Mm. I have been doing sortie a little bit more regularly. I'm almost done with another stage 4.
Hell yeah.
I think
Nice.
I'm just gonna sit on some points because there's a couple stage 4s that I like kind of want, but none of them are like really good. I mean, none of the let me rephrase that. None of them are like really
Yeah.
game breaking. It's like the Beastmaster axe would be really fun to play around with. The staff
Hmm.
would be really fun to play around with, but at the same time, both of those options are like not needed for any of the content that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I'll just hold off a little bit before I pull the trigger on something. Maybe I'll upgrade the shield. Who knows? We'll find out.
I can tell
Yeah, I
you right.
mean, I think that like having the points for when you want to make that, like when you really want to make that like just like indulgent purchase
Hmm.
and not being able to check yourself, where like you're like, well, I need like a million more gallon free. I'll think about it for a few weeks.
Right.
If you can just like that removes that buyer's remorse period where you you switch and you're like, well, maybe I shouldn't. I'll just do something responsible. But yeah, get the
Like,
Beastmaster axe. Wait till you like
yeah. I do want to. I think what I might do is I might wait until I have some of the Beastmaster Limbus gear done, and then I'll pull the trigger on the axe.
yeah, that's fair.
Because
That's fair.
I like
I
the
think
axe.
that's when I'm going to be using it.
So like maybe in 6 months or something like
Yeah,
that.
in 6 months to 4 years,
Yeah.
I'll
What is
pull the
what's
trigger. Yeah.
everybody's highest augment on a new Limbus piece now that we're like a month in?
You have new Limbus pieces?
Mine is R18 Revelation body.
Yeah, I'm up to 18 on the monk body.
I'm
Mm.
sitting on 21 alabaster matter and 4 murky matter, and I'm just hoarding money,
Four,
waiting for prices to go down. Yeah,
four
I'm
Man,
getting.
murky matter. Oh my gosh.
if I could trade you, this is the problem. If I could exchange, I have a surplus of murky
Hmm.
and I'm short on alabaster. I have 0 alabaster. I do have the rank 18 body, but I also have like rank 3 head, and then I
Mm.
upgraded so like my body could be 24 or something like that right now, but I was testing, experimenting with different things. But yeah, if I could exchange my murkies for alabasters, I'd be a ton of levels ahead, but I've just been really bad luck.
They need to
Yeah.
do something to equalize it
Yeah.
or to make them more common. It's not a fun or good system right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm averaging like 6 out of 10 matters a week, and it feels pretty bad. especially
Six out of 10 is
after
really good.
it may be really good on paper, but it still feels really fucking bad. Like, only getting 3 ranks a week after the amount of time that you spend in there for
yeah.
a piece of armor, like
I think when you look, like when you look at it and you're like, okay, I spent 10 hours in Limbus this week, and I got 3 accuracy. That like
yeah,
that doesn't feel good at all.
exactly, exactly.
It sucks that it's all backloaded. I liked how Odyssey, subtle segue, you did the augments and you got the things piecemeal. Like in the first
Mm,
bit, you got a chunk of good stats and then accuracy,
Mm,
and then good
yeah,
stat
yeah,
and
yeah.
then accuracy.
yeah.
Myth, to talk about the stage fours you were working on. You said you might do the shield. This is the last time I'm gonna bring Shiraj up,
Mhm.
but he made the stage 5 shield
Did
earlier this
he?
month,
Wow.
and he had some good things to say about it while we were doing a certain master trial.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Really?
sure if you're tanking Chaos and Bahamut, then it's helpful. Um, but like, I don't know.
You're gonna be a cool kid and do that next year.
Huh? I'm not doing that. Fuck that. I don't have I don't have the time to put in like invest in that or the desire to like find 5 other masochists to grind that.
Well, in
Um,
1 year when it's solved, it's gonna be
mhm.
easy and you can just join up. Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. It'll be super easy, just like August is right now since it's
Yeah,
solved,
Mhm.
right? For
that's
sure.
exactly what I was gonna say. It's like perfectly solved. Everyone's doing it.
Mhm. Definitely. Um, okay, so we have a couple emails today,
Oh, nice.
Ooh. That's what
and it
me.
looks like we have 4 emails, so we're gonna go ahead and dive into that. Our first one is from Heghmoh from Asura. He says, "Hey, it's Heghmoh. Listening to your podcast and hearing about all the jobs you choose should be jobs you enjoy, but there are some limitations due to being compared to a more meta job. Truth. With that being said, if you have the ability to create a piece of content that helped him to make jobs like ninja, thief, pup more relevant or a more desired class, what would that content look like? It can be an instance or an open world event or content. And also, Akeo asks for a Dark Knight guide.
Not
Um,
specific.
well, I'll handle the last part first. We're not going to do a Dark Knight guide. Uh, we'll go ahead and skip over that. The Dark Knight slander will continue until further notice.
I want Dark
Um,
Knight. Speaking about
see,
Dark Knight,
Mhm.
this week, someone explained to me that Samurai's best sub in a lot of content is Dark Knight, and I was like, wait, why? And I did not realize that Desperate Blows had been moved off the merit category and been made permanent.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I actually do Sam sub Dark Knight for Odyssey segments, and it is a huge benefit to Samurai.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that makes
nice.
perfect sense.
It's last resort is super nice to increase your attack because Sam has a little bit lower native attack than normal. So if you don't get a second soul voice reset, especially on the 4th floor, Sam can really struggle. Dark Knight helps get over that part of it.
Yeah, I saw the Sam pull something with fire, and I was like, why are you sub Dark Knight? What the
Yeah,
hell?
no, it's actually really really good. I
No,
think
I'm
normally
sold.
what I do. hmm
This just proves that I don't know everything about the jobs I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
play.
yeah. I
Mm,
guess like it's worth noting too, that, like Samurai, for example, specifically, like in most content or in a lot of content, you're doing cap damage hybrid weapon skills, which don't generate as much enmity. So you don't really need the hate resets or like the enmity from high jump and super jump. You lose the weapon skill damage, but you gain a bunch of attack. I can see it making sense.
yeah, yeah, it's good. So anyway, what content would you guys make to make Thief and Ninja and Pup good?
Well, I would make content. See, it's complicated, right? Because Thief's outside of TH, what does Thief do? Positional crits that Dancer does more often, or it just manipulates enmity rather than removing it like Dragoon or Sub Dragoon does.
hmm
So I want Thief to be good. I think Thief requires changes to be good.
Yeah.
Um, for Ninja, I think there needs to be more things that are forcing you to bring shadows. Like Limbus
Mm.
is kind of in that direction because things ignore DT, which is not a good thing. Um, but maybe not leaning so hard into ignoring DT, but making it so that like single target things hit really hard, and you want to avoid them with shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think one problem we all know that like the problem with Ninja as its role as a tank or like, you know, anything that's absorbing damage is that they decided to make everything area of effect at some point in the game, and like because of that, you can't rely on shadows for anything.
Yeah.
Um so like I don't know, Ninja would be okay if it wasn't constantly getting shadow wiped.
hmm Yeah,
If they make
I always liked Rua's suggestion where he said like tier 1 God spell should take 1 shadow, tier 2 2 shadows,
Hmm.
so on. And
Yeah.
if they cast a Jaw spell on you, then you're just out of luck and all your shadows get
I like
wiped.
that. I
But
mean, a lot of TP moves in the game take 2, 3, 4 shadows rather than
mhm,
stripping them, and I
right.
think more things should do that rather than just you lose everything and get hit for all your health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I were to like make a piece of content that forces those jobs to be relevant, what I would do is I would build an Odyssey system, but I would the problem, like Odyssey tried to do that basically by forcing the different jobs into different key items, things like that. Uh they just failed to actually require 3 key items for all of the
Yeah.
fights that they intended them for.
True.
So, like in the early Odyssey days, people were using pup to like off tank ads. Like I heard of
Oh
people
yeah, yeah, yeah.
using Ngai, pup on Ngai, because
Hmm.
the puppet could tank the ads while the puppet master did damage to Ngai. They did the same thing with the tier 2 blunt mobs. Like that's a really, really good use for them. It would be cool if Ninja could do the same thing. Like if they could also like if you could bring a ninja to Kalunga, uh, or make a fight like that where a ninja functions as the DD but also like as an off tank for those ads because you can just absorb it with shadows and also do damage. That would be super cool. That's the kind of fights that I would want to make. For Thief, I wouldn't make any content for Thief.
I mean,
But
I've heard some like pro thief commentary recently, and like people
yeah.
that I trust like using thief for fun just because like they geared it out for something, and they've got their Empu Gandring, their stage 5 prime, and they're like, well, I'll try thief anyway, and they're like, it's
Mhm.
actually pretty good. Like you can do decent damage, and like if you gear right and you set it up right, it's not bad. But I do think that all of those jobs, like you could create content that kind of forces them to be used, but the root of the problem is that they need fundamental changes to work in how the game exists right now.
Mhm.
And until Square Enix does that, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Thinking about it, like the problem with those jobs is they all they're all used currently in, well, not Thief, but the other ones are all used currently in a scenario where like some mechanic is so janky that you're forced to do it. Like Pup is like the mob charms, so like let's just hold it with the
Hmm.
automaton.
Mhm.
Or like Ninjas, like these things do really disturbingly annoying one-shot moves, so shadows or whatever. Or like end petrify AoE, so we have to shadow tank it. Um I don't want them to lean into more of these really horrible mechanics to make these jobs relevant. I just want them to
Right.
upgrade the job.
Yeah, I think part of the problem that these like part of the reason that these jobs have been phased out is because their core mechanics, like doing the cool stuff that they're able to do, has just been so outpaced by like monster level and stats and all that stuff. So you kind of have to go back and fix this stuff. It's like why Beastmaster pets and Summoner stuff doesn't do much damage anymore. They're just the functions of the job are kind of outdated and it's been outpaced by the
Right.
rest of the game. So
I
you'd
think
have to force like the game to slow everything down to make some of these jobs
true.
shine.
I
I
think that's
think
like Thief
pet
is a
jobs
prime
overall.
example of that.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
I
like
think pet
you
jobs
like
overall just need a like blanket buff though.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure. They need a rework in general, but I don't know
The
if
way the
that's ever going
stat
to
scale
happen.
just isn't appropriate for how the current end game is laid out.
Right.
Like, I've had people suggest that, pet haste should just match your player's haste. There shouldn't be a pet haste stat, you
I
know what
think
I mean?
yeah, that's my I'm trying to resist like going through my list of things that I think would fix these jobs because I know we do that often. But
Let's just
like
do a whole nother job adjustment
yeah,
episodes right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great to
Okay,
talk
sure, just
about it
pivot.
often and angrily because,
Yeah,
the more we talk about it, the more it gets the conversation going, and
yeah,
then if the world is great and wonderful like I believe it to be, then eventually that gets to someone at Square Enix headquarters.
yeah.
Mm,
But I do think that like that this is how all modern MMOs have shifted to dealing with pet jobs is that you don't have a pet set and a character set. Your stats just scale. Your pet's an extension of the character. And
mhm.
so those pet stats just scale off of the main character's stats. And I think that would like for Puppet Master, that would solve so much. Beastmaster, it solves so much. You're always in this struggle between your character being relevant and your pet being relevant. So like just just take that out of the equation. I think would be a huge step forward.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
what pieces of content are pet jobs used for right now if we exclude, like, I'm mewing, lullabying, and that's all I'm doing?
Hmm. I mean, I think
Uh,
that there's an argument that I have heard I've heard from people that do like 8 boss sortie runs with
Mhm.
summoners, which is really cool, and I love to see stuff like that. I don't know, it's not like the meta, it's not like maybe
No, no,
the
no.
most efficient way to do it, but
Listen, with like doing any piece of endgame content like sortie, which is highly, uh, I don't know, like it's been highly mastered and also highly meta-tized, or however you want to say it, where
mhm,
people have discovered the puzzle pieces and fit them in a way where this is the way 90% of people or 95% of people do it. And if you're one of those 5% people, um, and you want to like experiment, that's really good because I think the people who are masters at their job can make anything work. We've
yeah,
seen guys like Stirk, I forget what server he's on, but shout out. He's so good at Monk and so convinced that he can make it work that he's gone above and beyond and made 9 boss Monk in multiple different ways work. And
yeah,
there's all sorts of topics on other people doing so, repeating his strategy, doing it with 2 monks, doing it with Monk Sam, doing it Monk Dragoon, Monk White Mage. Like there's different things to do. And to your point, Summoner has plenty of boons for content like stun spamming bosses with Rama or Fleet Wind when you don't have a Corsair or whatever. Um I just don't see like pieces of content that are designed to specifically include pup.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Summoner,
I feel like Pup is the one that's kind of odd man out. I think that like Beastmaster, for example, for Mbos, or like certain fights where Beastmaster really can take advantage of Killer Instinct or TP Drain
yes,
Kiss and
exactly.
doing damage and stuff like that. But yeah, Puppet Master is kind of the one that's odd man out, where it doesn't really outside of like the Moogle ambuscade or the Frog ambuscade or whichever one it was. You know what I mean? Like that's like
Well,
the
that's
only thing
like
that comes to mind. Yeah.
you have to have no buffs from actual buff jobs so DDs don't work. So you throw the puppet on it and run 30 yalms so you don't get hit by an AoE
Yeah.
hammer.
mhm.
I don't know, like Beast and Summoner, to your point, have scenarios where they can be used, maybe not in a meta sense, but in like a very strong sense if you're dedicated to the job and you do your homework and go above and beyond to really boost it. Beast can be a great physical DD. Beast can do Mistral Axes and Calamities, and it can debuff and buff outside of just TP Drain Kiss and Ooze. But for the life of me, Pup has always been the black sheep. Like, if your automaton isn't tanking things that trivialize the content, like, you're not using it. There's no and I'm sure maybe people like Seropio or like really dedicated pup people are going to be like, well, use the black mage thing for this here or use the range thing
Yeah.
for this here. But that's so much more niche than the beast and summoner discussion that it's so seldom heard about. I'd love for someone to educate me further.
We'll have
I
to
wanna
reach
see
out
like
to an
the
expert pup, and we'll do a
I
pub
want to see
episode.
the once I get my stage 5 hand to
Mhm.
hand and I finish my Limbus puppet master set and I'm just like the most busted puppet master in
Mm,
gear that
mhm,
exists because
mhm.
nobody else is bothered. I want to see like the Ongo V25 with a caster pup.
Mm,
That would be sick.
yeah.
It irks the fuck out of me that like these jobs are so seldom used because of any sort of reason, whether they're actually not strong enough or they're just too
Yeah.
complicated to let people really dive into them the way that they should be able to.
Mm. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put out the signal. If Eric still plays, I haven't seen Eric's in a while, but I used to talk to them quite a bit. But if Eric's is the one that made the Puppet Master guide on the auction house,
Mm.
and they want to come on and have a puppet episode or Puppet Master episode talk, we would love to have Eric's on, or if somebody else is like a super mega puppet master and wants to come balance out the hate that me and Dex will throw at you,
Mhm.
There will be a
we would
And
lot.
yeah,
love to.
I was gonna say I didn't realize Myth would throw in the hate too. I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say we can ask Dex to sit out that day
yeah.
if it makes you uncomfortable. Or
Yeah, for sure.
if it is gonna be a Myth and Dex team up, then like well, I can just talk to him directly and I'll just be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
puppet
Just a
master.
I
one-on-one
will
with
say this
Heghmoh is also optional, for sure.
in advocacy of pup, I did the pup AF quest, in my completion objectives.
Mhm.
I did all the for it, and the AF one was one of the funniest cutscenes in the game.
Oh
Oh
yeah, you
yeah.
were telling me about that earlier this week.
Mhm.
Or like some booty.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take a moment real quick to let you guys know that I never hit start recording, so I'm just gonna have to pull the VOD off off of Twitch for
Yeah,
this.
okay.
What?
That's
So
fine.
oops.
That's fine.
So welcome
It'll
everybody
be
to
basically the
our
same.
podcast
Yeah,
episode 28.
yeah. No, it should be the same. But I just looked over and I was like, oh, I never clicked that button. Oops. Um, I just started it now, so
Professional.
maybe just in case, we'll just cut out the first email, and ignore Heghmoh going forward.
Well, I
Okay,
mean, like
so
dark so.
I think we should move on to the second email.
Yeah, sure.
I think Heghmoh has managed to make us spiral into
Yeah.
tangents enough today, so thank you for
Mhm.
that. Appreciate the email, Heghmoh. Heghmoh is also in my link shell, so I give him a little bit more shit than I normally give other people because I know him a
It
little
doesn't
bit
matter that
more.
he posts amazing food and he's like jacked. I don't give a shit about that.
No, that's none of that's important.
Nope. If he talks about
He
pop, we're
actually
gonna roast him.
he he
Mhm.
comments on my YouTube videos too, and he used to like point out the squat rack in the background all the time. And then
Mm.
this past week he came back and he's like, "Wait, where's the squat rack?" And I was like, "I have bad news, buddy."
Yeah, yeah, it's gone forever.
He got
It's
mad
tragic. Dex, do you want to read the next email from Milo?
from one of our biggest fans, Milo.
Milo,
Who's
yeah, Milo's the best
like
because he
email number
consistently
4 or
gives
5.
us topics to talk about. I love it.
Hey guys, Milo here. Building up a little streak of podcast questions. I am getting so hyped to dive back into 11 once the Steam machine gets released soon. Is that a thing? Like people are going to be
Mm.
playing 11 on Steam machine, like the little handheld?
Yeah, people are no, it's like a basically a console PC that's like a fixed
Oh, I thought a
box.
Steam
Yeah, yeah.
machine was like a Switch handheld kind of deal.
No,
That's a Steam
that's a
Deck.
Steam Deck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. So the Steam machine is a full-fledged
Yeah.
console, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of hype.
Hmm.
Today, I'm
Mhm.
curious about merit points. Which jobs do you think would have the most to gain if they decided to uncap merit points? This is a question for me. To put
Yes.
it another way,
Mhm.
do any jobs get significantly, or do any jobs vary significantly in 2026 based on their merit selections? Have they pretty much
Mm.
been solved at this point? Or have there been any notable changes in recent years based on new gear and content? Thanks as always. Very short, sweet, and to the point.
Mhm.
I've been
So we're
yelling to the clouds with my fist raised for what feels like years screaming that Square Enix needs to uncap merits, or at least like allow us to do every job
Hmm.
fully.
Yeah.
Because it's like really shit that there's a lot of job abilities that just do not get used at all because there's a better option. It's also really shit that some jobs, specifically like mage jobs, are forced into switching around their potency or accuracy
Yeah.
sets.
Based on a particular fight.
Hmm.
I'm gonna pass it off to you before I like digest that one because I want to know what you guys think. I don't want to talk too much.
I'll be honest, I like off the top of my head, I don't know that like many random merit stuff. You know, like I don't,
Mhm.
I
Okay.
don't, I don't have the
What do you
merit
think
knowledge
about
off the on the tip of my fingers. But if I were to say like one job that I think would benefit a lot from uncapping merits would be Corsair, because I know Corsair is one of those jobs that specifically changes a lot. Also, Corsair just has a ton of really busted abilities, like it's just really really good merit point abilities. So
Corsair would want
that's
all of them for sure.
yeah, yeah, that's one that comes to the top of my head. Obviously, Warrior would be nice if you could cap Berserk, Warcry, and double attack all at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
category
Um,
1 is more important for Warrior rather than category 2.
sure. I can't remember which one is which.
What's in category
Category
2?
1,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can pull
category
it
1
up right now.
Oh,
Berserk,
you get like aggressive
Warcry.
aim is entirely useless, and I feel like Warrior's Charge is also kind of useless, but
Yeah,
Warrior
yeah.
charge
I don't
guaranteed double
even.
or guaranteed triple.
It gives you double.
triple. It's double, but it has like a chance to go to triple with the merit points or something.
Yeah. It's.
So
I
like
don't
if
know.
you
I
if
don't
you,
use
if you think
Warrior's Charge
about it,
anymore.
if you
But
think about it, right? If you could have everything,
mhm.
you would use it for weapon skills, and it would get like a fat potency to your weapon skills every couple
Yeah.
minutes. It's just there's no reason to use it because you have Tomahawk and Savagery, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what
I
you're gonna do. Although, like, if
yeah.
you're kitted out in warrior gear, and I'm not saying that you're like, I don't know how much of an impact this has, but like, how much damage are you gonna get off of a triple attack on a disaster versus a double attack?
Like 4K.
And like, would you be better off just like not worrying about that? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
is that ever gonna be super impactful? I don't know.
I have
If
I have
they were
So
one
I don't know.
merit. I have one merit in Warrior's Charge from 75
Mhm.
era. I think I just forgot to actually take it out ever.
you're a
Um
warrior guy,
I know. And I don't really use it, to be honest. I should take it out and just put
Yeah,
it in Tomahawk because I do use Tomahawk occasionally. Not I
yeah.
don't think it's like I don't
I
think
think
5
I
out of 5
eventually did
Tomahawk is
that.
super important either. Um Good to have for sure, but it's not like
Tomahawk is crazy good though, especially for like Limbus NMs.
for sure.
Tomahawk is amazing
Yeah, well,
because it takes
I've never
away
done a
their
single Limbus
special
NM.
damage
I've never
reduction.
seen
Yeah,
one,
so
so it
you wouldn't
doesn't
know,
fucking
but yeah,
matter. You know what I do
yeah,
use
yeah,
Tomahawk on is when I accidentally pull a slime in Limbus. Then I'm
yeah.
true.
like, and then I'll pull it out.
Or if you want to helix something that can't be helixed, you
Yeah,
know.
but yeah, I've
Warrior.
evolved
They should just
past it.
rework
Oh,
Warrior's Charge to give us like weapon skill damage and PDL. So that would be
uh,
dope.
Ooh. So I
oh,
was
for
gonna
sure.
say before you said that, I think if they're gonna uncap the merit system, what they do
Mhm.
need to do is like do an
Do a
overhaul of
pass. Yeah.
like do a pass and be like, this is useless, let's adjust it, or this is not good enough,
Mhm.
let's buff it.
Mm,
Yeah. I would say I think the only merits I ever really change are my monk merits because I usually go like 5 out of 5 mantra. And when
Yeah,
I
right?
need to do Oni Chifora, I switch to formless strikes, and that's about it.
Really? 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know what's so funny? I was looking at Monk and I was like, yeah, they do mantra and then they do like penance, and then why would
Mhm.
they do invigorate and formless strikes? I never see a monk use formless strikes. It's so nice to hear that someone is using formless strikes.
I use it so I can get in like 5 or 10% damage on Oni Chifora when he's in physical absorption.
hell
So
yeah.
when he's absorbing physically and you pop it, it just does damage and ignores that.
Yep.
That's
Yep. As long as you don't weapon skill, you just keep auto attacking.
I think formless strike should apply to your weapon skill, whether
I do
it
too.
nerfs them down a little bit
Yeah.
because it's changing the damage type. I wouldn't mind that just to be able to continue blasting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So let's launch into your spiel decks.
Well, I think they should uncap everything. They should
Mhm.
do it pass and buff certain things, obviously. You mentioned the big one, Corsair. Corsair wants all 4 of its things. Corsair wants everything on its freaking bar. You'd
Yeah.
want like you can't really afford the random deal recast, but it's 40 seconds per merit. That's huge. You want loaded deck, you want fold, you want winning streak, you want
Mhm.
snake. Basically all the jobs that have like a 1 or a 3 out of 5 because they need things but they can't afford to max them, those would benefit the most.
Mhm.
Um, Blue Mage, I would love to have those other job abilities. Like, I'd love to have Convergence to do a fat single target nuke, or to adjust an AoE to single target in scenarios where I want to nuke, but I don't want to like pull hate on other shit.
Mhm.
I think every mage would love to just max all their accuracies and get different stuff. Black and
Yeah.
red. Um,
Scholar
Typically
would
red
benefit
just as ice
as
and wind,
yeah.
but they'd love to have all of it.
Yeah.
And then, like if a fight specifically, you need to slow something. I need to switch my merits to earth magic. That's tedious and stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, Red Mage is
Yeah.
probably more of a job that needs this than Corsair because of group 2. Red mages have to fight between increasing their enfeebling duration, their enhancing duration, their accuracy, and their immunobreak chance. And then on top of that, there's also end spell damage and accuracy. Like you'd want that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just
Um,
realized while I was looking through this that I have my red mage merits capped. And I didn't know that I had ever put merit points into red mage because I've never played it really.
Proud of
So
you.
that's yeah, it's interesting.
I was
I
kind
just
of
learned
I was
something
kind of
new.
expecting Myth. I was expecting Myth to say. I just realized while I was looking at this that I've had the microphone audio muted this entire time. So
Yeah, that does sound about right.
Ranger's
And,
another one that would benefit because I would love
mm,
to use flashing and stealth shot for weapon skills periodically.
mm,
It's just I can't afford to do it.
yeah.
Um, Ninja's like a mage. You'd want all the stats for all the nuking.
Mhm,
Bard is one that needs a pass because Cone Anima and Cone Brio are absolute worthless.
mhm,
Mm,
So there's such a huge disparity in the jobs. Like some jobs have a plethora of amazing things and they have to make a painful decision, and other jobs are like that's dog shit and I don't need that in my life.
yeah. Yeah. I think that about covers it. You got more?
Oh, I can. Nah, I'm kidding. I was gonna say I could go on.
Oh
I
man.
just want it fixed and I want it now.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and that's the kind
Okay.
of thing that's like, this is exactly when they say we're making comprehensive job adjustments.
Mhm.
And this is what goes through our minds. We're like, oh, cool. Maybe they'll adjust merit points. Maybe they'll,
We added
adjust job abilities. And they're like, no, you get a one more sub job level.
Mm,
Like,
mhm.
oh,
Before
okay.
I forget, Summoner is another one. Like, why do you have to choose between the blood packs? Just get them all.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
I can't say that I've ever looked at Summoner's merits, so I just learned
Summoner's Group
something
2
new. Yeah.
is one blood pact for all
Mhm.
6 avatars, and for each merit, it gets 400 TP bonus.
That's crazy.
So you have to pick one and
Mhm.
or two and 5 of 5. Like that's dumb. Just get them all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do like that, like merit points were a very early version of like the World of Warcraft talent tree decision in MMOs, where like
Mhm.
you get agency in deciding how your character optimizes or like what they specialize in. But I think it's just because of how they're now 20 years old. They just
Mhm.
don't feel like they have a real impact, and you're just
Yeah.
choosing what you want to not do, And like
Yeah.
merits are so fast to get now, it's an inconsequential decision to make at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
I think
Um,
inherently the tree aspect of it is a really cool idea and they never actualized it.
yeah,
It's not
Mhm.
comprehensive enough to, or it doesn't go deep enough. Like you don't have a branching path where I merited this, so then now I can merit this next thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't enhance your job so significantly that it feels as though you're changing the job in any way whatsoever. You just get a new job ability that now, like you're saying, 20 years down the road, these things have become like staples, and they're
Mhm.
a, they're a part of the job's identity, and
Yeah.
you can't really like, just separate that.
Hmm. If you had a choice on like how to change merits beyond just uncapping them, would you expand on them, like make it a kind of a branching tree like you were talking about, or do you
I'd
think
love.
just leaving it would be better?
I think uncapping it is like the bare minimum they can do without having to
Hmm.
do any work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think it'd be cool if like maybe they uncap category 1 and 2 so that you can get all of those things because they've become like, maybe reorganize some stuff and maybe make some stuff like permanent staples instead of just things. But like it is
Mhm.
a progression system where you hit 75 or you hit 99 and you unlock these new abilities, you get a little power spike. But I mean, at the same time, ignoring PS2 limitations and stuff, I think it'd be a pretty cool thing too. Also, like add merit point categories 3 and 4. You know what I mean? Where it's like
Mhm.
you unlock those later, and there's more. Those are limited, and they're new things that can more impact like your we play the game now.
and this is without
And that
even touching all the other categories. Like the attributes could go higher, the combat skill could go beyond 16, magic
yeah.
skill beyond 16. The other category could have more than just 4 choices, and half of them being enmity. Um,
Okay, you just gave me a really good thought. Master levels 2.0, because that's it's starting to sound like that. So what if instead of adding all these categories, we just went to ML 100 and then we got all the
I
Okay.
don't
stats
want
that
L
way?
100,
Yeah.
but if it's a new system, like if
Yeah.
it's like mega merits and it happens in tandem with
Mm,
job points or master levels, that would be a great thing because
mm.
then you're double dipping and you're getting more bang
Yeah.
for your buck while you're grinding. That would feel good.
I feel like I want less points systems in this game, not more, personally. I
I do
do you
think it's
guys
confusing. Like when
yeah.
you explain to a friend or a new player that's like just joined the game for the first time, and
Hmm.
they're like, "Oh, cool. So what do I do once I hit 75?" And you're like, "Well, you
Get a
can
nice
cap your merits, but then you want to get to 99 so you can start working on capacity points. And then
Hmm.
once you get your capacity points, those aren't limit points, those are capacity points, by the way. Those are to master your job. And then once you master your job, you want to work on your mastery levels, which are using exemplar points. And it's just like they're like, what the fuck are you
Right.
And then
talking
when you're that
about?
far in the game, you're gonna
Like,
wanna update your mastery rank. And it's like, wait,
yeah.
what? How many mastery
Which aren't
Yeah,
mastery levels or mastery.
right.
and it's not mastery points, it's just a mastery rank and it's invisible.
Hmm.
That's a whole tangent on
But
top.
you get one stat on your earring, so it's worth it.
Mhm.
I think at the
Um,
bare minimum, like if they wanna just like no effort, just click the unlock button, they
mhm.
could be like, you can now spend an additional 5 in each category once you hit stars, you're mastered, or once you hit
Yeah. Oh,
MLX.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm,
I got the MLX, I can now put more merit points in. Kinda like how, in the deeds section, after time you earn the primer on martial techniques and the treaty on martial techniques. You
mhm.
could just earn a key item that expands it. That's all. And I don't think that's, like, a bad thing. I think we
Yeah,
need more of that. I don't like, separating from the jobs, how come the primer and treaty are the only ones we get? I think we should be able to max every weapon skill. Just let us keep going, keep grinding.
yeah,
They love to add these artificial long grinds to the game with Limbus, but they don't do it with other aspects of the game.
yeah. That's true.
I'm
I
I'm
mean, we do have some long grinds in the game for sure, but
Yeah.
Limbus definitely stands out
My
Yeah.
my
as one of them.
issue is more like while I'm doing these long grinds, I want to feel like I'm progressively getting stronger rather than spike getting stronger with like a gear drop.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Um,
What do I know?
hey, you'll take your one accuracy per week
Yeah.
on your
And
Limbus
you'll fucking
body,
like it.
and yeah, and you'll like it.
Shut up and eat it. Eat your freaking cereal.
Oh man. Yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like we could go on for that one for quite a while.
Oh, I mean,
Let's go.
it's going about it, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
really
for sure. Let's go ahead and go on to the next email. We have an email from Hikiri. And he says, "Greetings. Hope Dex is feeling better this week. Hikiri here again. Always enjoy hearing you guys, guys' takes, and I'm always trying to spread the blurred gospel to the masses." I'm gonna take a second
Nice.
right there to pause real quick, and just like as a general disclaimer, we're trying to work on downsizing Heghmoh's God Complex. So if you guys could just keep that in mind, keep the any
Mm,
glazing, especially things that include
mm.
like gospel, or like there was that the other
Yeah,
person. Oh, I think the Reddit thread made the exact same comment. They're
yeah.
like, people pass their word on as the gospel. If people could just stop using that phrase around Heghmoh, I would really appreciate it. uh but moving on.
he has
I had
risen.
oh, Jesus. um I had a
That's
question that is
that's the soundbite that plays every time I die and get an arise, which is like 47 times an hour, and
oh,
it just goes straight
Jesus.
to my head.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I had a question that is probably hard to answer to your usual scientific standards, but it's
Mhm.
something that's been bugging me for a while. On BGWiki's item sets page, the simmed ones for Sam, it lists mid buff and high buff sets for Fudo, and the high buff set has Doji beating out Massa. Presumably, this is due to the TP bonus, but it made me curious. How close are Doji and Massa for Sam? People usually say Doji for skill chaining, Massa for weapon skill spam. But between the sim saying Doji for Fudo and people saying bigger Fudo from Massa will make the bigger skill chain than Doji, I'm confused. So specifically, I'm curious about Sam's situation as I have an R15 Doji, but I'm building a Massa. But I was wondering if you had to compare the Rima plus primes to each other for various jobs, what would come out on top and by how much? A percentage or even just a little or a lot is fine, and in what situations? Am I going to be very disappointed by my Massa considering the price tag on Asura and compared to R15 Doji? Will Prime Great Katana only be very slightly for stronger weapon skills and awful for everything else? Is Glansfoss secretly the best Rima for any job?
No,
Hell yeah.
I hope to
no.
hear the thoughts. If we're sticking to Great Katanas and we're considering all three of them, I think the second you get Kusanagi, you're gonna not care
Mhm.
about pretty much anything else.
Especially
Uh,
in like a really high buff situation. Like I feel like, just
yeah.
having the PDL, and like I feel like primes do a really good job of being the hybrid option where it's like, sure, like you might have slightly less base damage, you might
Mhm.
have slightly less TP bonus, whatever else, but you have a PDL aftermath, a triple attack hidden effect, and like a busted weapon skill in most cases. So it's just like becomes really good across the board and hard to compete with.
Yeah, primes are kind of the best of both worlds in that they do super skill chaining like an Ionic would, and then they do the fat damage that an Imperium would.
Yeah.
Yeah. The unique thing about Kusanagi for Sam is it gives you access to strong darkness skill chains, which it
Mhm.
struggles with the other options. So that's super important in sortie, especially if you're like doing the single Sam solo DD method. You need those darkness skill chains to do like Gartel reliably. It's just super strong, super helpful. I typically don't compare, or like I don't, if somebody's newer to Sam and they're talking about Rimas, I don't point them to Kusanagi unless they already have like a route to go that way. Just because like I think it's pretty common knowledge that Kusanagi is kind of the best way to go. But
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
As a non-Sam, I always tell Sams with my infinite knowledge that I have of um that Doji is serviceable and you'll do just fine. Don't stress it.
Yeah. I don't know. I made a samurai not long ago, and I was like, "Do I want to make an Empyrean? Absolutely not." So I'll just do Doji because, like, we can knock it out pretty quick. And honestly, like, I think Doji Samurai does really, really well. Like in certain things. I would say in this day and age, probably Masa and Doji are probably pretty comparable, like in
Really
terms of what they're capable of doing. Like you'll get slightly higher auto attack damage, but Fudo in general is like a slightly stronger weapon skill than Shohai is, and like I don't know. So it's just like they're probably pretty comparable in terms of damage, and then yeah, I think the Prime is gonna beat him out most times.
Yeah.
Sam Main and Vire are screaming at the monitor right now.
I will say, because we were talking about Sam earlier, right? So Masamune is going to be good in situations like Odyssey segments and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're not capped attack, because like we said earlier in the episode, and this wasn't even like talking about this email, Samurai has lower native attack than a lot of the other DDs. That's why
Yeah,
things
true,
like
true,
Sub
true.
Dark Knight are so good for it. Masamune is going to do better in those. I've played with Masamune. I've played with the Aeonic Doji in segments, and I gotta say, in segments, Doji felt really, really bad if I was not doing
Mm.
hybrid weapon skills. Masamune felt a little bit better. Kusanagi feels really good in segments. But that's like just my anecdotal experience. I bring a Sam for most of my segment runs. But now all I use is I'll switch to Doji for hybrids, but honestly, I probably don't really need to.
I have a counterpoint.
Mhm.
If you're on Samurai, why don't you just Shining one? Silly.
For undead.
No, in general,
I,
it's
I
better.
mean, I do use Shining One on like the fish and stuff, but that's it.
Yeah, like isn't the cool thing about Samurai in segments that like no matter what you're fighting,
Hmm.
you can just do a cap damage hybrid weapon skill for the most part?
A lot of the time, yeah. It
Yeah.
just to make sure that they're susceptible to it, and
Yeah.
if you're using the right thing. That's kind of like saying you can do the same thing with Ninja, but then we always talk about how there's nothing to bring Ninja to.
Right.
Any of the less common, unpopular jobs, it
Mhm.
requires someone like so dedicated to it they have the maximum of everything and they're super
Mhm.
super competent at the job to make it
Yeah.
look amazing. It has to be that, and there's no in between. So like, yes, ninjas can do these amazing things, and I love it when they do, but there's not a
Mhm.
lot of them out there. Whereas there's a dime a dozen samurais who can do these like hybrids all the time.
I
Well,
think
it's so
what Dex is
easy,
trying to
like on Samurai.
say is if you're willing to put that much work into a job, play Ninja because we have enough samurais. That's
Yeah,
what I heard. Is
actually,
that
not
okay?
even you're saying that sarcastically. I'm serious.
But
Absolutely.
also in general, just get good, I think is what he was saying.
Oh my
He's not
god.
I'm not trying hard enough.
Oh Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to discuss Glansfost another day. I
Okay,
feel
so
like
Glansfoss, wait a second.
No, we don't.
Aesthetics, one of the coolest looking weapons. That's all I'll
Mm,
That's
say.
expensive lock style, buddy.
mm, sure. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our last email. This one is from Siriu. Dex, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Hey guys, it's Siriu again. Love the podcast as always. I just got to episode 24. You better catch up. I see you put death penalty in B tier. That's okay. It's fine to have a wrong opinion. All right, can we just delete the email now? Like we don't have to read the.
I don't think we've
Anyway,
ever been wrong, but that's fine.
no, we
It's
haven't.
for
He's wrong. Anyway, I wanted to ask, what are your favorite zones in Final Fantasy 11? My personal
Mm.
favorite is Ultan Mavopolis. I
mm,
love the music and the maze, like Moblin City design. Words. And the maze, like Moblin City design, makes the whole area feel really unique.
mhm,
I'm also a big fan of the NM that spawns there and causes the alarms to go off.
Mhm.
I've never actually fought it myself, but the whole feeling it brings is awesome. Have a
mhm,
great day, gents. Ultima Mavopolis is really unique. Like unlike Newton Mavopolis,
mhm,
it has that huge lake, and
mhm.
there's like this whole structure around it. It's very uniquely designed. I,
Yeah.
I'll agree with him that the music there is awesome. When I was in high school, I did like a web design course where you had to make a faux website, and I made a website based on Ultima Mavopolis, and it had like the music playing in the background.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
That's awesome.
Did you have like gates that would close and just like block people off from certain parts of
Like
the website randomly?
when you click to a new web page, like
Mm.
it would like have like an animation,
Mm.
like
Mhm.
when with hyperlinks and stuff. You know, it was old school shit, but like
Oh yeah,
I don't know. It was
that's
one of
dope.
those HTML courses that's very basic.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean,
I
I
feel
know
like I was in
my yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like I was in a zone this week where I was like, what this is so slept on in such a cool zone. Why do people not? And then I don't remember what it
You
was.
were talking about Adiwa earlier today,
I know
about
today
how like it's a
Adiwa, we
classic
were in
one,
Adiwa,
yeah.
and I think that it's got a lot of the treasures of Ottergon zones. Like
Mhm.
first of all, I was in Wajum
Thank
Woodlands
you.
just running around doing a quest. And I was going up like a random part where you never go unless you're doing like an EXP party on the Marids or whatever. Like you don't really go up there for anything because you have survival guides and everything now.
Mhm.
And like there's a volcano in the background. You're like, this is a cool zone. And so many of the treasure zones, and so many to go back to what Dex and I were talking about briefly earlier, like so many of the treasures cutscenes are shockingly good, like custom rigged and all this other stuff. And Adiwa Subterrane is like it has the most Final Fantasy music, I think, in Final Fantasy 11. It just feels
Mhm.
like an old school dungeon in Final Fantasy 4 or something.
Oh yeah.
Cool
I
I would
stuff.
say
know.
there's a ton of like super slept on zones, like Providence. It's a tiny
Mm.
little island with a bunch of rocks you
I
teleport
know
to
my
fight
answer
bosses
now.
on.
Yeah,
Mm.
because you said that. I know my answer. I was gonna say my favorite zone is Zaita, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like Zaita's underrated. I feel like the Zaita appreciation is there for the most part.
Zyklon
Um
might be the most nostalgic zone. Most
yeah,
people have like some sort of nostalgia for it.
I think the river and sites are the most slept on, or the most underrated. I
They're
really,
very
really like
cool.
those. They're very cool. They're very unique. The porting system across them is something that you don't see very often. And I think the only thing that ruins them is the monster types in there because they're terrible.
Mm.
Because like you run in and there's just hippogriffs and dragons dispelling
Yeah.
you and just murdering you and amnesia and just terrible, terrible stuff. But those are super fun zones.
There's
Is
a
it your
lot of cool
favorite?
zones. And like Zeta is such a nostalgic favorite for a lot of people because I feel like it has such a vibe and like everybody goes there eventually in the old days. But I don't know. There's so many zones that if you just like take a second, I think we take a lot for granted nowadays. I think is the general answer is when you slow down and like go to a zone, go to like what's the Toramane Canal or whatever where Full Moon Fountain is.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
remember
I
running through
hate
there
that zone.
for a
Yeah.
mission. I mean, the layout sucks, but it's such a
Yes.
cool, unique spot. Like with
Every time
the
well,
floodgates and all the other stuff. It's so
there's that
cool.
one spot with it's a huge room and all the little like flowing water down to the center. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But like that zone sucks so much ass. Like when you have to do a quest there, you're running through the
Yeah,
water
I
and then
was
you're like,
doing
"Oh, I gotta go
Fenrir.
up there. How do I get up there? Oh, I have to backtrack like
Yeah.
5 squares to get onto a ramp to get around and then go around the edges of it.
Yeah.
Fuck that." And then you find a fence and you have to go around. No.
Yeah.
I think there's so many underappreciated zones. There's so many really cool ones that never see the light of day. Like no one goes to Soja, no one goes to Carpenter's
Hmm.
Landing, rides
Hmm.
that ferry. None of that gets
I did that for that quest to get the Midris's helm recently. And I was
isn't it
like,
like
it was
you were
one
the
of those
first
things where
person
I
on
was
your
like
server to do that?
was I the first person on my server? No. But I was like, I've been to Carpenter's Landing to do whatever missions and stuff you have to do there. I think there's like a COP mission and a few other things. And I've been there a few times, but like I was like, there's a ferry? You can get here from Sandori? I was just like, my mind was being blown. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah,
And
there's a
Hell
secret
yeah.
entrance to it in like a door behind a pile of wood near the
yeah.
woodworking guild in North Sandoria for no reason. It's not on the map.
Well, because it's
Where
Carpenter's
it is,
Landing. That's where
like
they bring the logs in from Jugner Forest and Carpenter's Landing
I think
up
that's
to
how Lore
Sandoria to
works
the Woodworkers Guild.
because
That's cool. It's a cool
they
little
set the
universe thing.
together. It's pretty cool. People are gonna hate my answer of what my favorite zone is, because I think it's been overused. Um, but the cool factor for me, it just hasn't gone away. Like, I love the aesthetic of it. I love the music. I love being there. It's Nisolile.
Okay. The
Oh,
little
interesting.
clanky footsteps and
Mhm.
all that stuff. It is pretty cool. And like the big aquarium rooms are pretty
Yes.
nice.
Teleporters, like the aesthetic of it's all super cool. You know, people
Mhm.
get sick of it because of salvage and the climbing for the points. I guess
You
it's
know,
Al Undersea Ruins is the real answer,
yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah. Um, as a quick segue, side note, um, while we're talking about old zones and things, like Boyata Tree or Ruan Gardens, what are our speculations about this random level limit adjustment in these two random zones in the patch notes that they
that's a
didn't say
great point
anything else
because
about?
they added a drop to both Fafnir and to Kieran.
Hmm.
My speculation is that it's going to allow players to get the new RSE that they added into the deck
Mm.
Yeah.
because there's a hand piece of gear and a foot piece of gear for every job, right? For every race, right?
Mhm.
Interesting.
So I would assume the Fafnir does the hands and the Kieran does the feet, or vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, I
Just to
do
touch.
think it's interesting in Final Fantasy 14, they are doing the 11 raid series. The
Mhm.
last part's coming out later this year, and like, yeah, Kieran is a boss and Fafnir's a boss in the first and second one. So like, part of me is like, maybe this is tying into even if it's not like a direct campaign, but like something to like kind of reinforce the tie between those two games to get some residual
Well,
subscriptions
to
and
be
stuff.
fair, whenever like new things are happening in 14 and other things like Dragon Quest
Yeah.
had something happen, and then they're like, let's just launch the Dragon Quest event in 11.
Yeah.
So they've been pretty good about that. You know, I can complain about the way the dev team has handled things all day, but they've done a lot of things really well in terms of
And
like
maybe look, I
inclusion,
mean, look, if we're
content.
gonna talk about promoting cross-platform Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14, maybe this is the year they finally bring back the shared subscription model. I don't
That's
know.
what
Come on,
everyone
do
wants.
it.
Yeah, that would
So
be nice.
if we're putting our tinfoil hats on, would the speculation be that I forget how the mechanics or the encounters worked in order? I know like you went to Ron Fair and then you
Mhm.
warped to
Yeah, oddly,
Reliant
you're it's
or
in the
something.
second in the second Sandoria raid. You start in Sandoria, you do a mini boss, go out to Ronfor, take the burning circle in Ronfort to Orlais Peak where Kieran is. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but
That's
but yeah.
cool. So if we're going by that trend and they add like the part 3, which I'm assuming they're going to eventually, there's going to
Yeah,
be
it'll
like
be later this year.
mini boss or mid boss, not like a final boss, and that'll get added to the game as like a drop to 11, right?
Mm, yeah, maybe.
I would assume because just looking at those sets of armor that we briefly talked about, they're um they're very like new player focused, which is a good thing. They're just
Mm.
like
Oh, have they been data mined and like we can see them?
um I would like go into detail on them, but there's not much to talk about. They're just like
Mm.
40 accuracy, 5
Yeah,
or
they're
6
very
DT.
basic stats. I will
Very
say
basic.
the
Until you
feet
start putting the
have
Limbus augments on them.
right. The feet do have a very large chunk of magic evasion on them, which is cool. They only have
Mm.
8 less magic evasion than Sakpata's feet.
They have like 30
So
math or something, but outside of that, they're kind of basically like weaker Nyame, but
yeah.
without any unique stats. Like they don't have like double attack, they don't have anything like that. They're
Mhm.
just like a stat stick of a DT gear, for lack of a better
Mm.
word. But that's a
Right.
good thing if these pieces of gear are now easy to get for like a new player. Because when a new player comes back to the game, what do you tell them to do once they hit 99? It's like, oh, go buy Sparks gear, and then after that, what's their
Mhm.
next thing? Get your ambuscade gear. So a new player who has Sparks gear isn't going to be able to get ambuscade gear without help. Let's be real. Like they're going to have to do volume 2 normal or easy 100 times to get a +2 piece, whereas a good new player could get help from an established old player and just do VD Volume 1 once and get all they need, right?
Right.
So anything they add to the game that kind of bridges that gap and gives them better gear to start off with is a great idea in my mind.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Or
also
hear
thought it
me
was gonna
out.
be new people or new player gear, but I've also heard speculation that it's gonna be the final set of the Limbus augmented gear,
Yeah,
which
that's what I'm saying.
I don't
Hear
think it
me
is,
out.
but
Augments.
yeah.
Are you saying that what Heghmoh told me on stream isn't true?
I think I don't like what augments would they add? Like are they gonna make a new like Nyame 2.0 and just completely
No, dude.
invalidate old Nyame or
Each piece has 10 quad attack, 10 triple, and 10 double.
Jesus?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think it'd be cool to like have an augment system, and this is terrible, but like I'm not saying use this any of these models that existed before, but like where you can more customize gear, and it's like it's not about following the augment path, but like you could make this gear into your tank set or your weapon skill damage set. You could kind of determine which path you want to follow, um, and have various options for how you set these pieces up. But
Yeah. On a side note, it looks like they ninja patched the Amon Trove noises. So I'm really, really
oh, did
glad
they
that I'm
really?
not hearing those
What?
anymore.
No.
Yeah. Well, I
Wait,
have
they
my because before I heard them through my game
Oh, that's
music.
right.
Yeah, and I had it
Yeah.
completely turned off, but I'm not hearing them now, so I'm very happy about that.
Well, there's certain things that I've noticed, like uh the entry notifications for like Odyssey and Dynamis and Sortie and stuff like that, where it plays a chime, um,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
calls are not controllable by any of your audio
yeah.
controls. They're not sound effects or music. And I'm assuming that Amon Trove noises were the same thing. So you just like you couldn't turn them down independently.
Oh
They were
yeah,
just
it
whatever
was
you
driving me
wanted
fucking
volume to set
crazy.
to.
I hated it. But now it seems I'm not hearing them, so I'm happy.
As a
Cool.
quick aside, did any of you guys get anything from Amen Trove this month during the campaign?
No, fuck Amon Trove. I think were you on
Sure
on
was.
stream
When you're like,
yesterday?
"What's gonna happen? I'm gonna get to the 7th
Yeah.
chest, and then I'm gonna go back,
Yeah.
and this is why I hate this
We
stupid." And then the
literally
next time I'm gonna
predicted
get
how I was gonna die every single entry, and then I finally did 4 orbs. I predicted exactly how I was gonna die the first 3. The 4th one, we get an impossible to gauge thud, and it's a topaz crystal. Like, it's like not even worth a million gil. And I went back to the patch notes where they're like, we wanted to really clearly distinguish when you get something valuable, that's going to be something you're excited about. And so we added a new thud, and we want to separate Mars orbs from Venus orbs so they really feel impactful. I'm like, I just got a Venus orb impossible to gauge thud, and it has a gil item that's worth practically nothing if it sells. Thanks.
you, especially during a campaign with all the like unique
Yeah,
stuff.
during a campaign. Yeah.
Drop rate. I did 30 orbs, and only 2 of them went the distance. One of the 2 was a gold chest, so it had nothing in it. And the
Mm.
other one was a rainbow chest. I got a 5 million bonus reward, and I got a pulse body.
Damn.
So a
Yeah,
Escher,
you get a pulse body that's just like lock style piece. It's not even like a
actually the one that's used,
usable thing.
but I
Yeah.
don't play Paladin.
Mm.
Yeah, to be fair, I did get the pulse body for Paladin from Trove, and I do use it. So
It's a nice body,
Oh,
but
nice.
yeah.
I don't play Paladin, so I'm not using it.
I had somebody raging at me on YouTube comments about how the game is dying, and this is the reason why people hate Final Fantasy 11 because it so strongly promotes gotcha and gamba mechanics. And I was like,
Oh,
what?
Huh? What?
Yeah, because
no,
Amon Trove exists as gotcha,
gambling.
and so that's why the game's dying.
For
It's
sure.
driving its players away.
I think
That's I
Mom
didn't
Yeah.
realize.
Final
Yeah.
Fantasy on Facebook, the Facebook group should protest.
Yeah. And like honestly, I hate Amon Trove, but I also don't agree with that take at all. But that's
No.
okay.
I just think it's not a good balance of
Yeah.
feels good to feels bad. The highs aren't appropriately balanced.
Yeah.
Even
And
though
like,
they
look,
balance them.
I can totally sympathize with somebody crashing out about a Montrove because I feel the exact same way when I get thwacked 5 times in a row. But I don't know. I don't go to YouTube comments to do it. I just make a video about it.
As he should too. We need the competition. We're the only game in town.
Yeah, fucking for real. Okay. I think we are all done with the emails. So we are going to
Nice.
go ahead and dive into. I mean, granted, we've already been going for an hour and 20 minutes. We could just call the show there.
Oh, see you later.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, guys. But I guess we'll, instead of doing that, we'll go ahead and get into the topic of the day, and that is Odyssey.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Odyssey's
yap about Odyssey a little bit, and the reason I wanted to start talking about Odyssey is because I heard Heghmoh recently started his V25 clears.
What?
Yeah. So
Sort of, I guess. I did get my first V25 clear. Well, my first Atonement 3 V25.
yeah, and I wanna clarify, like, whenever I talk about V25 clears, I'm only ever referring to the tier 3s. Because Bumba doesn't count, and
Bumba
tier
doesn't count 'cause
2s
it's
and
bullshit.
below. Yeah, Bumba doesn't count because
Yeah.
it's bullshit, and tier 2s and below don't count because they're tier 2s and below.
Mhm.
The tier 3s are the challenge, and then Bumba's like the dumb, and everything else
It's
is
just
like
a Gamba gotcha mechanic, and that's why the game's dying. But
exactly. Nailed it.
you make that part of your season 2 t-shirts.
Yeah.
So Heghmoh, how has your Odyssey experience been so far, and how did you start Odyssey? Like, what was that process like? I assume you've been doing Odyssey for a while now.
I've been doing Odyssey in terms of segment farms for a really, really long time. I have like almost 2 million segments. I did so like on my older character, I did everything up to like the 20s and was starting to work on 25s. Um, and then I lost that character. He died, and I was like, all my friends that did the V25s are like, "Oh, damn, that sucks. I quit, or I don't want to go back and do those." So I was just like, "Well, I guess I'm never going to do those again." So I kind of slowly worked my way up. Like I got at least my 15 clears and started doing 20s and things like that, just to check them off the list and get some augments. But I'd kind of like written off doing 25s for, until the perfect opportunity arose. And then it did. So like, somebody in my link shell was like, "Hey, I need to do some V25 clears anyway. Do you want to come on Warrior to Kalunga?" And I was like, this is the best possible scenario. I get to play the job that I'm good at playing. That's the easiest role for this fight. And I get a V25 clear. This is amazing.
Oh yeah.
So that's been my experience so far.
Fantastic. Dex, how did you start out with Odyssey?
With you.
Okay. Explain, please.
Me and Mith were in a link shell together, and it kind of coalesced into a static where we started with certain people and then quickly changed to other people because certain people just weren't flexible or up to the long-term grind. And we started at V0 and worked our way up through each tier. We did all the V0s, the V5s, and all the V10s.
Yeah, this was back in 2020, I think,
when it was
came
new.
out. Yeah, so when we started, V15 was the highest level that it went up to. We missed the like pre-Moogle amp boat by just a little bit, but we weren't very far behind the people that were doing it. We finished all the V15s maybe 6 months or maybe a little bit even less than that before the V20s came out. And I remember reading about the V20s coming out after we finished Bumba and RPing everybody, and I was like, I kind of wanted to throw up when I heard about
Yeah.
What is this shit?
When Odyssey came out, it was hard for at least for us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We had like this ragtag group. Dex was kind of referring to people that we got rid of, and that's because we had when we started the group, I just kind of like put out this general invite. I was like, hey, does anybody want to do this content? And we got like
Mhm.
3 people that just signed up without any idea of what this content required. And we all learned very, very quickly that if you only have ninja and monk, the job or you're not going to go very far in Odyssey.
Oh, as in you can't enter because you need to level one more job. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like our very first segment runs, we were getting like 3 to 5K, I think was like a normal
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
segment run.
and it stayed bad for a while. I think for
Mhm.
months we were doing like 6 to 8K, and we're like, that was a good run.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, where you'd get enough to get a single Moglophone or half of one and be like, cool, nice, we can
Exactly.
do a run tomorrow. That's
Mhm.
nice. Yeah, like,
Yeah, and like if we made it through a whole run without a wipe, it was really good. And we troubleshooted, or I guess not troubleshooted, but we like experimented with a bunch of different setups too. Like we tried ninja tanking, we tried rune fencer evasion tanking. Obviously we tried the normal like paladin stuff. I think at one point we tried going in with a bard sub paladin because those were
mm,
all like strategies being
But
floated around then.
we had
And
two people to cruel joke at one point, right?
yeah,
Me
yeah,
and
we
some.
had we did cruel joke a lot, and that was honestly some of the more reliable stuff until we started getting geared out a little bit more.
Bard sub paladin, was that just to like put up extra ramparts or
So
what?
Bard sub paladin is in lieu of a tank, so you get more
Mm,
DDs. Bard
Hmm.
pulls when they do a halo, they pop sentinel so they don't die.
mm,
Yeah. Do you guys
nice.
remember back when like we first started doing that and people were bragging about like 6 million damage in Odyssey segment runs, and we
Yeah,
were like, there's no way you're doing that much damage. And
yeah.
now people are doing like 11. But
I
it's
feel like,
fine.
I mean, I feel like Odyssey, but at the same time, like we got to this point, like in how people play the game, for a large reason because of Odyssey. Because like
Mhm.
people started to have to like push their jobs. Like I don't feel like I really heard of or saw very many like DD bards until after Odyssey started to like fully come up to speed, where you'd have
Right.
like your bard being expected to put up, a significant amount of the damage.
Mhm.
It was starting to change. The times were starting to change
Yeah.
before Odyssey, but it was in that same era. I would say
Mhm.
right before Odyssey, in the late eras of Dyna D, people were starting to transition to DD Bard because they saw all the gear that they could put together, usually with Unity gear and Volt.
Yeah.
Um, and just Odyssey continued to put pressure on you because of the time limit to do as much damage as possible with everybody. And not only that, the Bunzi gear, the hands themselves were a huge boon just for a huge chunk of damage and DT. And you didn't even
Nice.
need to RP them. You had just did it at
Yeah.
hour zero.
I mean, I remember like or back before Odyssey gear came out. Yeah, it was like if you wanted a TP on Bard, you had to have your full Volt set from Bastock or whatever, and that was the
It was
only
like
way you'd
Volt
get. Yeah.
plus the Shara harness. The
Hmm.
shoes, you either had to have the Volt or the one Unity piece. The hands was like Volt only. The head
Yeah.
was Ionmo, I think,
Oh
forever.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The body was usually Ionmo too, but like you had to
If you
make
had
some
a
custom
Shara.
choices, and you were usually made of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of like when I first came back to the game, it was in like late 2018, early 2019. I think it was right when COVID started, and I came back and I was playing Warrior, and I remember like the only gear that you really really wanted for Warrior back then was the Volt set. And I think I ended up quitting the game after I got like through ambuscade and all that stuff, because Volt was just like impossible
So
for a newer
unattainable, yeah.
player on a small server to get.
Mhm.
You're
So
talking about Windy Bolt or the stock
what's it?
Bolt?
I think it was Windy Volt for Warrior.
Oh, the DT
Yeah.
set, the
Yeah,
weird, the like last DT set that was both
mhm,
PDT and MDT rather than just
Yeah, they're
V2.
divided and different values for
right.
each one for some reason, yeah.
But like it was either that or you were wearing like fucking Valorous or
Yeah.
Ambuscade or
Yeah,
like
like
Sky
a
Gear.
combination of Sulevis and
Yeah.
Flama or whatever, yeah.
And it was just really bad, and I got to that point where I was like, this kind of sucks. And then I came back 3 months after Odyssey came out and
Got it.
Sockpotas existed, and it was incredible. Like
Yeah.
it was such a radical change. It was crazy. So I think one of the very first things that I did with my first key item, I had a friend that carried me through V0 Kolunga, and I got
Mhm.
Sockpotas set, and I was
And
like, all
man,
right,
like
I got this. Thanks for the help. I'm leaving and going to Azura. And
still to
uh,
this day though, like I'll still tell people like, that are newer returning players, and it's like the fastest route to being relevant in like Dynamis or Omen and like, feeling like you're contributing is just getting Sakpada V0 and enabling on Warrior, and you'll feel like you do damage. Like that's really all you need to get started.
Hey, what I thought you were going to
yeah.
say is still to this day, Myth's friend that he abandoned after leeching off
Oh
of
yeah.
comes
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
into
He's
yells that he's such a scumbag every day.
yeah. Oh well, yeah. I mean,
uh
I thought that was assumed, but
yeah,
I mean,
to be honest
I
with
do
you,
want to
I don't know if
say,
you know us at a stream. We weren't that close.
uh, I do want to say too, and like, I don't want this to come off as like, back in my day, we used to, but like, I think that,
Yeah.
we've all kind of said how we started at V zeros and like slowly climbed our way up. And I think we've said this on the podcast before too, where it's like, I think that sometimes people like come into Odyssey and they're like, "Oh, how can I get a V25 clear?" And it's
Mm,
like, "Oh, make a party and start with 0." Like that's how you get a
mm.
V25 clear is you have to climb up. And like it's going to be slower, but like that's how you learn the fights and like how you learn the different mechanics and stuff without just being plopped into something that's absolutely has to be fine-tuned to.
Yeah. As much as like everyone wants to play Dora the Explorer and get backpacked, I mean, I I do think that's the best course to maybe not V0, right? Like
Yeah,
outside
I
of
mean,
doing Odyssey, you can kind of gear creep yourself with sortie gear and whatnot. You can skip the
oh yeah,
earlier
for sure.
tiers, but maybe like
Mhm.
start at V15 and kind of get your feet wet, learn the mechanics, and then start adding their pets to the mix and making it more difficult. But jumping straight into V25 and then complaining that you're not getting things done or like getting burnt out because it's too difficult of a jump, I think that's on
Yeah.
you. You need to do the due diligence to learn these fights, practice, and you know work your way up.
I want
Th-
to
I mean, and
I
like,
I
yeah,
want to get into this conversation more, but I also
mhm,
like want to kind of talk about this more, like what it is now towards the end of the
mhm.
conversation.
Oh, sure,
Just
sure.
because I think we can get into a lot of different tangents going down this conversation. So before we dive too far into it, I would like to hear like your guys' experiences. Heghmoh, when you did your first clears, were the V20s already out, or were they capped at V15 still?
I think they were 15s because I remember 20s coming out like
Mhm.
after we had gone through and gotten all that stuff, and like same
Right.
thing where it's like there's an ad, and like
Mhm.
the group that I had been running with was like, yeah, if you want to play pup on Ngai and hold that, is just like all these crazy strategies being
Mhm.
thrown around, and like the difficulty jump from 15 to 20 was just mind boggling.
yes.
Yeah. So during the V15 era, which fight do you think was the hardest for both of you?
Ooh, this is easy. I know the
Yeah,
answer.
I know what you're gonna say. What would you say, Hagmo?
I mean, for me, honestly, like the getting into and like sourcing Boomba V15 clears was like crazy, and like that was like probably one. Yeah, I mean, I just
Oh, really?
on Shiva at least, because
Mhm.
like we kind of had like put together a group that was like we knocked him out, and like Ongo sucked, and and Bose sucked because it's such a weird niche fight. There's you have to have it nailed specifically, but like getting the RP farm was the thing that was like super difficult for me, because I think by the time I was RP farming Boomba, like most of the static group that we had put together had kind of dispersed. And so it was like trying to get into very limited on Shiva, like pug groups that were doing V15 Boomba. And so
That's
like it was that, and like this was before I was streaming, before a lot of stuff. So it was like that a kind of like lost experience for me, at least in MMOs, where you finally, like, somebody's like, hey, we're putting together a group, and you're running to your keyboard to be like, oh, I want to join, let me in, I can do anything, like you're just like, and then you get in and there's like this anxiety around the fight, and you're like, oh, I hope I don't mess up, I hope we don't get perfect dodge is going to screw us up, like uh just like a totally different thing. But that was probably like the thing that was hardest for me, is like capturing that RP, because you need to do so many runs at V15 to get your stuff fully augmented.
Yeah, it was brutal back then, even with the amps that didn't exist at first. It was
Yeah,
really bad. Which
Yeah.
fight was the hardest for you to clear, though, would you say? Because
probably in
when I
Bose, and Bose was like
Mhm.
okay, that
was
is
the
the
hardest
answer.
for us. Yeah,
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 that's me and Myth were thinking.
So
Because when you said bump, wait, what? Because that's the victory lap. That's the easy
yeah.
yeah,
fight.
I think
But yeah, hardest fight in terms of progression, definitely in Bose.
I think our group struggled with Embos more than maybe some other groups did. And most of that was because we didn't have a Dark Knight in our group that was geared properly. So we kind of did a really, really janky Embos V15 setup, and it was a long process to get that going for
Well, we
sure.
changed our strategy multiple times before we settled on it.
Yeah. Yeah, because we couldn't
We
figure it
tried the
out. Like I
Rampart
think
for a whole bunch before giving up on it.
we tried Rampart. I think we tried with a Sam at one point instead of a Dark Knight because I had heard that was a good option. We settled on a Blue Mage as the main DD, and so we just instead of having the Blue Mage just stand there and feather tickle, we dropped that, filled the Blue Mage in as the main DD while doing that, and we added a Geo. And
As far
Nice.
we
as I was aware, the Bard and Core didn't TP on it either. They just
yeah.
rode tack.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So I was the only one meleeing it the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting little setup that we made. And I remember this is one of my favorite Final Fantasy 11 stories.
Oh god.
Because we spent like 12 runs with the setup trying to figure it out. We finally like started getting comfortable with it. We started getting the
And
rhythm
again, like,
down. Hmm?
just to cut in, like,
Mhm.
12 runs at this point is not like everybody has segment stockpiled and you're doing 12
Right.
back
No.
to back. This is like
Yeah.
every 2 days you do one attempt.
Yeah, yeah. We were running 2 days a week at this point. So we'd do like 2 to 3 attempts twice a week.
What we would
Um
do is we would do like every third day we would do 2 segment runs, and then we do like 1 or 2 attempts.
mhm. So we finally got it comfortable. We got Embos down to 1%, and Dex started cheering. And
Bro,
he goes, yeah, yeah, fuck yeah. And then we wiped 1%.
so no, you're you got to tell the whole story. So
Okay,
we
go
get it
ahead.
to 1%. It's
Mhm.
at 1%. I'm like, we're gonna fucking do it. And then someone Savage Blades, it's still at 1%. And then I Expiation. And as I Expiation, I was like, we
Oh,
fucking did it. And it didn't die.
well, that
Whereas
1%. So
prior
1%
to
in
that,
Final
like,
Fantasy 11
Weapon Skills did more
is a
than
trap.
1%. I don't understand.
Yeah. That's the thing, as I was about to say, is that weapon skills, or sorry, 1% in Final Fantasy 11 is twice as long as all the other percents.
Mhm.
Um, it, like, just mathematically, because you can't, it never, when it goes down to 0%, it's dead. So it's at 1% from 0.1% until 1.9%. versus everything else is 1.1 to 1.9.
Mm.
So it's twice as long. So on all those long fights on Amazon on all your V25s, the 1% just feels like it takes twice as long because it does.
Because it does, yeah. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So we've just been being gaslit this entire time.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that.
I'd rather see it at 0% alive and not be gaslit.
I mean, that's like in World of Warcraft. I think they do that when it goes down to like the last percent, it goes to
Under
like
1%.
0.1, 0.9, 0.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Mbo's V15 is weird because now Mbo's is like one of the easiest ones. Once you get to
Mm.
V20,
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you, unironically.
oh yeah.
Because you can
But
just TP off the ad at that point. Yeah.
right, the ad makes it way easier once you've managed that. But back then, like with the gear that we had and everything that was available to us, Mbo's was tough.
Yeah.
EM
Um,
blows.
I did like just as to jump to the future. My
mhm,
V15 and when I was going through and I did everything like 0, our static did 0, 5, 10, 15, up to the 20s, and that's kind of when we lost steam and like kind of put it on hiatus for a while. But
mhm.
when I did my V15 Embos, I was like, my Beastmaster's really well geared. I don't have a blue, but maybe we can like figure something out, all this other stuff. And I did a few attempts, and then I was like, you know what? What if we just do War Dark Knight and treat it like Gartel? And I I just zerged it. I just had
Yeah.
75% pop Mighty Strikes and Soul Enslavement and killed it. And I was like, okay, that wasn't so bad. So gear creep is pretty nice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's much easier to do them now. For the V20s, did you guys have trouble with any of those? Because like we talked about
Ongo.
earlier, the V15 to V20 was quite a bit of a step up in difficulty.
Mm,
My V20 Nemesis was Ongo. It took me forever to get that
yeah.
clear.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Ongo,
right.
and
I got the
You did it
clear
with a shout group.
with a shout group because our group was too bad to do Ongo. Um,
So Myth
no-
brought us into Bumba 20, and
yeah,
none of us had Ongo because he left us.
because when we were really struggling with V20 Ongo, and we just our strength was not the mage setup, and
Mm,
so on our off days there was a group that was shouting for it, and I'd gone with them on
mhm.
Scholar several times, and I kept going with them on Scholar, and I think after like 20 attempts we finally cleared it. It was ridiculous, but I cleared it, and then I brought the rest of my static into V20 Bumba because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm tired of this. Let's just go get the fucking
Yeah.
Yame. It was
Hell
great.
yeah.
I
I
actually
think
was gonna say
Ongo,
Arabati.
20. Ongo 20,
Mhm.
Arabati 20 is pretty tough because those both get into like you have to have this set like group with jobs that a lot of people don't often play.
Mhm.
And so they slow down a lot. And then honestly, we were stuck on V20 Marmor Krebs or something for a while too. Or
Oh yeah,
Gigalorum.
yeah.
Gigalorum, the
Gigalore,
crab that you have to, yeah.
the kite, he's really
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so Marmor Cribs was kind of tough because people it took us a little while to figure out like how to avoid the one shot from Sundering Snip because it's a weird mix of like magic and physical damage. So before everybody knew to just throw Aegis on it, it was tough for a
Mm.
while. But once you kind of figured that out and you were able to magic burst, I actually really like my recommended route for Armor Crabs if anybody's doing it now is bring a True Flight Ranger, and True Flight Rangers will melt Marmor Crabs. All you do is skill chain let into True Flight, or vice versa. I can't remember which. And that you don't even need a Black Mage. You don't need a Magic Burst. You can bring a Scholar for
Rather
like a
than relying on
Helix.
the seller to do all
Yeah.
the things themselves.
Yeah.
Because
And
the typical strategy is like imminent skill chain into Corsair close, and that's it.
yeah,
And maybe Paladin extend it.
yeah, maybe. Um, but like Ranger just melts through Marmor Crabs. Super strong.
Nice.
I think the issue with that is like that's very good suggestion, but rangers are kind of hard to come by.
Well, not for us. So I don't know what you're saying.
Nope.
Like, sorry.
Not for us. I'm just thinking on a
All
smaller server, finding a competent ranger is probably hard.
yeah, yeah. That's valid. If you cannot find a ranger, then going to the black mage method is perfectly fine. It's just it's going to be harder. I've cleared it both
Unironically,
ways.
though, like this is
Mhm.
splitting hairs. Finding a competent ranger, you're also gonna be hard pressed to find a competent black mage.
Yeah, it's very true.
True.
Which is why I ended up
Um,
playing black mage for our V25 on Go Clear. But that's another story.
our static
Um,
broke at B20. Like
mhm.
after we got Bamba, we grinded all the RP, we R25'd all our Name, and then the static broke.
Yeah, well, we had before we had done that. We had kind of like we had somebody that was leaving because he was having a kid and he was coming with us like part-time. Like he was coming with us like Fridays, but he
Typical.
couldn't make it the other days. Yeah, that's what I mean. I warned him. I tried to tell him to not have a kid. He didn't
Yeah.
listen to me for some reason.
You realize what are we going to do when V25s come out? What's more
Yeah.
important to you?
Yeah. We had kicked another person from our group at V20 Bumba because they refused to stop using auto weapon skill during Yagasumi. There was like a couple like hiccups on our last few steps on V20s and they were just kind of rough. But I think our body was tough because we were kind of gimping ourselves with the setup. Using a scholar to tank the Raz was just a terrible idea, and I don't know why we thought that was a good idea ever.
Well, I think it was less so a strategy that we came up with. It was more so a compromise in terms of who had what job, and we had to make it work.
Well, that was the recommended strategy back then was using the
What?
scholar because we would
Really?
yeah. So
Yeah.
the scholar's second SP to reset the hate was really, really important.
Oh yeah,
But
caper.
yeah, at the time we just didn't know that a paladin could just sit there and tank their ass and also heal. So everybody
The
used a scholar.
concept of paladin main healing was kind of developed through Odyssey. Like it
Oh
existed
yeah.
after Magic came
Well,
out, but it
yeah.
really hit its stride during the Odyssey days because of
Didn't
that.
Majesty came out like kind of mid Odyssey, didn't it?
Well,
Or
I
he
was
thought
it
it
came
came out
out
before?
shortly before.
right before Odyssey,
Oh,
I
maybe right
think.
before? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
people just never
obviously,
really like really
well,
built
I
cure
think people
sets until
did,
then.
but it didn't grow in popularity until Odyssey like made it a thing.
Mm,
Yeah. Well, it was
yeah.
such a new thing because like remember pre-Majesty, nobody wanted to bring a paladin to stuff.
Yeah.
It was a
Yep.
job that you didn't use. And when Majesty came out, people were like, "Oh, this is actually really cool." And it took us a while to actually start implementing it.
I need to stop what we're talking about. I have
Mhm.
an aside, and I'm
Sure.
getting irritated.
Go for it.
I'm doing a quest, and this quest requires a cold bone. And the cold
Okay.
bone, according to both wikis, only drops from undead in Cape Terrigan. And
Mhm.
during our conversation, 2 nights have passed. I'm on Ranger. I can see the entire map. And both nights, I haven't seen a single undead. Is the wiki
Hmm.
gaslighting me? Like, do
Maybe.
undead even spawn
Probably.
on this map?
Cape
Yeah, no,
Terrigan.
I think
Where are there undead in Cape Terrigan?
I don't know. I can't
This
tell you
Hmm.
the
was in
time last time I was
Phantasma
at Cape
and
Well,
Doom
Terrigan.
Soldiers. I can see the whole
I
damn
was
map. Where are they?
I was really resisting making an entire aside comment because I didn't want to derail anything. But since we've derailed,
Sorry.
I hate Limbus. I'm so far behind on Alabaster Matters. I realized I had some unique data left over in Apollyon. I just opened the northeast chest in Apollyon 4 times in a row and got 5Ks 4 times in a row. And now I'm even further in Alabaster debt. And I hate it.
I'm
Oh
reading
man.
your chat. I'm reading the chat. There's no shot
Uh,
that's real.
okay. Uh, so
You
what
have
we've
to kill
learned.
goblins on undead?
Oh
What?
There
man.
you go.
All right. So Limbus is terrible. But on the plus side, I just got a
Game is
Sorota
terrible,
earring.
apparently.
Um, So what was your guys' favorite V20 that you guys did?
Favorite V20.
Mhm.
Oh, honestly, like, I feel like the accomplishment and the excitement of doing like Gog Magog or something, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
like getting to club on Warrior or something like that, was or Gog Magog's slashing. I can't remember who's who, but I don't know, some of the earlier ones where like it's your first V20 clear and like you did some obscure thing that you'd never done before. Like I'd never really built out a blunt damage warrior before, but it
Mhm.
came in clutch and like you get that V25 augment on something and it just feels so good because you've been attempting so many times that you go straight from 20 to 25 because you've got all the RP stockpiled. That was
Yeah.
probably my favorite part.
Oh yeah.
What was your favorite
Dex is
V20?
still raging about
I'm still,
goblins
I'm
and
still
undead.
reading, like I'm holding it in.
Yeah.
But
Um
what was your favorite, Myth?
I I really liked Kalunga, and I, as much
Mm.
as I bitched about our body, I also really liked our body because that was the first and last time I got to use my Gandiva and have it
Mm.
feel good.
I actually enjoyed the Arabati fight, even though I wasn't on Ranger at the time.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, I always felt bad because I was not on Scholar, and our Scholar was just like getting fucking mollywopped by these pigs, and I was like, that must be a really
No
shitty thing to
culpable
have
for
to
that.
deal with.
Mm.
And like it's not that he was doing anything wrong. It was just those pigs hit fucking hard, and you're on
Yeah.
Scholar. Uh, so that was rough. But being able to actually have a Gandiva and use it, uh,
Yeah.
and like make full use of it was super fun. And I'm sure I've probably mentioned this um on the podcast before, but I remember after we cleared it, somebody was shouting for a ranger for V20 our body, and I was like, "Hey, I can ranger. I have a Gandiva." And
That's right. I forgot about that.
and he was like, "No, we want somebody with an Armageddon." And
Mhm.
and so they fucking rejected me because I cleared it with a bow instead of
Yeah.
the gun.
Well,
Or
have
yeah.
you thought about getting good?
No.
That's literally one of
Um
the only fights in the game where like the Gandiva's significantly better.
Yeah, I mean it was good. You can do it with an Armageddon. At this point in my life, I just don't care anymore. But I just think it's like funny that like that was the reason, and
Yeah.
I was like I literally already have the
Well,
clear.
yeah.
At that
That's
point
the
in time, you were
problem.
like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the problem though with like the strict adherence to the meta where people are like, nope, the wiki says that we need an annihilator ranger, so sorry, we can't do it. You can't join. And you're like, I'm offering to
right.
help you. I can do it. But okay.
Yeah,
I have done it before.
yeah. I'm like I literally have the clear and you guys don't. So I know, but whatever. Um. But yeah, that was fun. Bumba V20 was actually hard for our group.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it took us a
Um,
bunch of times to get it.
yeah, we didn't have enough DPS to Zerg it back then, so we ended up doing a two key item strat, and after some practice, we got that.
Nice. I
But
mean, I think Kalunga, I do agree, like doing Kalunga, because I did it. I know that a lot of groups, and the way we did the V25 was just like tanking the halos, uh, and just like sticking him in the halo mode where he doesn't, he just keeps spawning him on the rune and you just ignore him. But I did V20 like with skill chains and procking him and all this other stuff. And it was
mhm,
the first time like with our stat it was probably the first V20 we did at Atonement 3 with the static and like the satisfaction of like we executed this fight properly. And like
mhm,
nobody had done it before. It wasn't like we had an outside person just telling us what to do or whatever. We figured it out. We did it. So like that was pretty satisfying too.
yeah, absolutely.
I thought
Okay,
Zeb V20 was fun too.
which one?
Zevioso.
Oh yeah, Zevioso was.
Yeah,
I
Zevioso.
think Zevioso's always been a fun fight because it's just like
For everybody except for the white mage.
Yes.
I love
Literally.
I loved playing White Mage on those. Zevioso and Ngai on White Mage was some of the most fun I've ever had playing this game, especially playing White
Unironically
Mage.
though, some of those fights are like the only opportunity to play a job at its most busy. So like
Mhm.
it's kind of like refreshing, even though it's stressful in a way. It's like it's a balance of like I have to do a lot of things
Yeah.
and I normally don't have to do this, so it kind of scratches an itch.
Yeah, White Mage is like one of those jobs where it's like it can either be the most fun job that you've ever played or the most boring.
Yeah. I think
And
if you're the type of player that's excited about like optimizing white mage and like there's a few people out there that are like that.
Mhm.
It can be really fun, but like if you're the type of person that has like the bare minimum white mage to get by in most content because they don't really want to play white mage, it was probably frustrating because like you needed to get into like your spell interruption sets and fast casts for
Mhm.
and all these different things to cure fast enough.
I love that. And I'll be honest with you, ever since I cleared those V25s, I have not changed out of a DT spell interrupt white mage
No, yeah.
cure set. Um, I just one, I think it's just super helpful, and two, if you can fucking heal through a V25 with that set, I'm sure you can heal
Yeah,
through just about anything else. So I'm not gonna change it. But that's just me. Cool.
absolutely.
Dax, how was your V25 experience? This is when we split up.
So
This is
my
when
V25
you
experience
abandoned
was
me.
horrible.
Hmm.
Um, I joined shouts for all of my clears, except for a few,
Mm,
and most of them were like I started off doing Kalunga, and I would join shout groups, and like 25 attempts later, and someone always messed something up, or something didn't go right, or we picked up a person, a random, and they just weren't good.
yeah.
It just it just constantly fell apart. My first V25 clear was Embose.
Hmm.
That was like 4 link shell members, and then they said, "Hey, we got a spot if you can fill it with these jobs." And I was like, "I'll rush home from work early to get
Oh
it
hell
done."
yeah. Yeah, that's the feeling I was talking about earlier, where you're like, I'm at work now, but I can tell them I have to go home because of an emergency. Like you're like your MMO freaking out to get to your keyboard.
Yeah. Oh man. I haven't done that since I was like 19 years old. I remember
It's
driving
it's
home
the like yeah
to grab King Vinegaroon. Is that
yeah exactly
and like I was like, oh shit, the window's open and driving like 80 miles an hour and being like
yeah
completely irresponsible. Um, but being
exactly.
like,
That's what
no,
I was
I'll
gonna
be
say.
there.
Is like
Yeah.
it's the phone call at 3 a.m. that the H&M popped feeling. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
they're so rare in this day and age, but like when you get that,
Hmm.
you
Dex,
gotta just lean into it.
were all of your clears through pugs, Dex?
Uh, Essentially, yeah. Not no one. I didn't have a static for any of them.
Damn, that's terrible. It's a bummer for you that I quit so that I couldn't continue the static.
I mean, we would fight people and kept going, you and me, whether it
Yeah.
was with people or not.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I stopped
you,
playing after we cleared the V20s, and I think Sortie had either just came out or was about to come out, and I got a new job that conflicted with our schedule, so I just stopped playing completely for like 2 years.
Mm, damn.
Yeah.
didn't
And then
make
when I came back, Dex had already done all of the V25s, and I was like, fuck. So I made a new group, and that was a whole other experience because I got to tell you, finding people for V25s, even on Asura, and this was a year or two ago now. Even back then, it was really hard, and it's probably even harder now.
Um, yes and no. I get where you're coming from, but like you can find people to do stuff. It's just there's less people hungry for it, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
the people who want to do it now typically didn't have the drive to do it then. So and I'm not trying to disparage you, Heghmoh.
Yeah. Well, I
But
also restart. Like when you guys broke for V20s and Myth got his job, I had to restart playing the game, and all
yeah,
my friends continued. Like so, I like was came back and I had to start from zero, and everybody was
Mm,
done. So I
in
was dealing. I had the drive to do it, but nobody to play with.
true.
mm,
In my experience, the way it pans out, at least on Ashura, is if new people want to do the content now, because there's so few people that are like good enough to carry them or good enough to help them out, it usually requires like one really generous person to just guide them and be a shepherd, a Sherpa.
Mhm.
mhm. Guide them through the mountains. Make sure they don't get frozen along the path. For
Yeah,
sure.
literally.
And the problem is, and like I think we can talk about this probably in more detail later, but like the problem is at that highest level when you're talking about 25s, there is zero incentive for somebody to be the Sherpa. And, like
Yeah.
they're just losing EP on repeat to any failures, and they're getting nothing.
Yeah. It's very true. Dex, which was the hardest and your favorite V25 that you were clearing back then?
The last one I cleared was ironically Kalunga, but
Hmm.
I don't think it was the hardest or most
Mm.
memorable or fun.
Hmm.
I did them in a weird order. I did Embose first, then I did Ongo. Ongo was very memorable for me because I was the bard and I had someone's Discord live stream on the left screen so I could watch them fight while I kited both the pets downstairs.
That's
That's
awesome.
funny. That's so funny. Oh man.
So like we had to get it, and it was very memorable for me because Kiana won. I got to do tons of damage on Blue Mage. We
Mhm.
did the blue Nin red summoner, uh, blue red Nin summoner, maybe white mage for Kiana
Mhm.
one, and I was just like max geared out, entomb, embalming earth, magic hammer spam, and just I would always do a fat chunk of damage. You'd have to get it to 75% to spawn the ad. So then in
Mhm.
key item 2, the rune fencer runs up, flashes it, and then as the bard, I'm the second person to get on the hate list. So the pet comes out and immediately goes to me, and I run downstairs. But then I have to
Mhm.
watch their screen on the second screen to see when it was about to hit 40, and then I would pop a what do you call it? The flea potion, Hermes
Mm.
quencher.
Yeah, yeah.
I popped
Mhm.
a Hermes quencher. I ran up and met them halfway on the stairs, and I would get capered, and then I'd bring the pets downstairs again.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like a
Ongo.
very memorable one for me.
Yeah. Ongo V25 was another really tough one. I probably took us the most attempts out of all the V25s. I think Bose, in my opinion, is the easiest V25.
It is. I
And
don't think it's. I don't think it's an opinion. I think it's most
yeah,
people's opinion.
and I think Ongo is the one that you can do most reliably as long as your entire group can check every little tiny box. But the
Mm.
progression to get to the point of checking every box takes a long time, and it can be very, very difficult.
Mage
Um,
players I know say
mhm.
Ongo is the easiest V25.
Yeah,
Non-mage players I know say Ongo is the
yeah,
hardest V25. And
right.
there's no.
Yeah, because they had to gear up a mage job to
Mhm.
do it.
But also, like, not only just gearing it up, they don't understand the nuances of
Oh yeah.
the
I
secret.
remember when
The
I did Ongo V15, even I was
mhm,
like, I was gearing up Black Mage and all this other stuff, and our static was trying to figure it out, and doing all trying to check all the boxes, and somebody was like, uh, so I gave me their notes, and I was reading through, and I was like, kind of expressing my frustration. I was like, I just feel like the magic isn't doing as much damage as it should be. And I can't figure out why. Like the gear should be there. And
right.
they're like, are you doing this? And I was like, yeah, I'm having the scholars bursting, the black mage is bursting. And they're like, is your corsair bursting earth shot? And I was like, yeah, but the damage sucks. I just kind of stopped doing it. They're like, no, it's not the damage. You're resetting the repeat wall. And I was like, oh, like I just didn't understand how magic worked.
Yeah.
Um, so like
The
it's a huge learning curve.
and Ongo only has room for so many slip ups. If your
Yeah.
scholar misses the skill chain or just fat fingers the wrong button like 3 or 4 times, you're not gonna meet the damage requirement if you're doing one key item. Which is a major problem. You have to have a really really good scholar, and your black mage has to understand like how to time nukes. Uh,
Yeah.
which is really the hardest two things about it, but those are very very hard things to fill. I remember one of my favorite stories about Ongo, and I think it's funny now, but at the time I was really fucking pissed off about it. We had this scholar from this link shell that I was in, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I can do this," and he starts running a script to do his skill chains, but his script is wrong,
Mm.
and halfway through his imminent skill chain, he started like throwing out fire fours,
What?
and then he started blaming the rune fencer for interrupting the skill chain, and we are like, what the fuck is going
That's
on?
Hmm.
And then the next day we kicked him, and then my friend who was on Geomancer was like, fine, fuck it, I'll do it, and he like overnight geared up his scholar, came on scholar that he didn't want to do, and then we cleared it the first try the
Mhm.
next day. um
That's and but overnight geared scholar in quotation. He already had a geared scholar. He just really didn't want to admit to anybody that
Yeah,
he
pretty
didn't.
pretty much, yeah. Well, he had like all the curing stuff, and then just was like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'll just put it together, and yeah, that was terrible. Okay, last question before we get into the other
Well,
topic that
I
you
have
guys
one
wanted to do.
question before you
Hmm.
move on.
Sure.
Have you attempted other V25s besides Kalunga Heghmoh?
Uh no. No, I haven't started on any. I mean, I've done like random attempts in the past where we got, a decent amount and then just never followed up on it, but never like hardcore progression.
Hmm.
So which ones have you like gotten your toes wet in?
I think like Zevioso, like some like the easier quote unquote ones.
I don't
Like
think
Zevioso and Guy.
Devioso and Ngai are kind of identical fights, but with
Yeah.
different stipulations. Like the white mage needs to do different things, but they're both white
Mm,
mage centric
yeah.
Hmm.
fights where you need to pace yourself and not just like gas out or explode. Um, I would say they're both very middle of the pack fights.
Yeah.
Um, One of the highlights for me was on Zevioso. The white mage ended up like tanking everything as they typically do, and they got encumbered by no, this is in Guy, I'm sorry. They got
Hmm.
encumbered by the Cracklaw,
Oh
and
shit.
they did like the most clutch benediction ever to remove the um encumbrance. Like
Yeah.
they just benediction themselves knowing they had to do it. And that was really like impressive.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember having to use benediction for MP one time during that fight, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is terrible. Like that's how you know like it's not going well, as if you have to benediction for fucking MP. But yeah, those were a lot of fun to play on White Mage. If you're like a serious White Mage and you want to challenge yourself, do a V25. Like,
I
Oh
love
yeah.
this.
even it doesn't even have to be one of those two. Even Kalunga will keep you on your toes if you choose to bring a White Mage to it. It still can be pretty challenging.
I'd love to see Heghmoh do and Guy specifically because he could play warrior or monk, and they're both very valuable
Hmm.
there.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
One day I'll do it.
Okay. Um, so I wanna do a quick aside real quick. If you are listening to this, because we're not really getting into like the details of anything, if you guys want us to go into any like specific strategies of
Oh,
any
like
of the
break.
fights, please send us an email and let us know, and we can kind of dive a little bit deeper into that. But since we're just kind of doing like topical discussions for Odyssey right now, Heghmoh and Dex, what are your favorite and least favorite tier ones out of all of them?
Mm.
Tier ones. Um, I feel like Gogmagog is the most fun because he's the most easy, but also can be
Yeah.
chaotic as shit. Like you have to like the panic shadow binding or binding him when he does that blood weapon where he has access to no hito or whatever it is, where he just one shots people.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that
fun and interesting and not boring like the other ones, in my opinion.
mhm.
I think like the first one that we slowed down on because it's like, oh wait, you can't just melee Zerg. You can't just like Zerg through these with Savage Blade or whatever. It was skilly and like getting cursed, AoE cursed, and you do you're not just doing max damage the entire time. That was probably my least favorite of the ones.
To snapshot this in time, um, Odyssey V25 fights came out shortly after Basement Bosses and Sortie came
Hmm.
out,
Oh, okay.
and I remember this specifically because Mage Strategy was, made very popular due to the fact that the Basement Bosses, had a weapon skill wall that was broken and not working the way it functions today, in which if you did a weapon skill, any weapon skill, you had to wait
Right.
10 seconds
Yeah.
for another
Yeah.
weapon skill
Oh
to
yeah,
go
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Otherwise, the weapon skill would be nerfed by 90%.
Yeah.
So what people did is they did like Savage Blade, Echo, wait 10, after wait 10, party, weapon skills ready, and
That's
then
crazy.
then the next person could go.
Yeah.
Which
And
10 seconds is a really
it was
long time.
insane. It was
Yes.
insane. So, that being said, that weapon skill wall was first introduced in Sortie Basement Bosses, and it was also applied to V25s on release.
Mhm.
And people struggled to beat Atonement 1 and Atonement 2 because of that wall.
Mhm.
That being said, the gold rush to do the new content, um, people in Atonement 1, what they were doing was multiple key items, and they would brute force the mob to spawn the ad, and then while one person every 10 seconds weapon skilled the boss, everyone else would be killing the pet.
Mm.
You made the pet die while the person trickled down the boss. And I killed Dealinday, Gogmagog, and Sigilly that way before they removed the wall.
Damn. That's crazy.
Which
I'm
is
glad I
honestly
wasn't playing
kind of
then,
cool.
personally.
It is cool and it's
It
very memorable, but it wasn't fun at all.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, what is your favorite and least favorite tier 2?
I think Henwen and Prockney are both just like they can just one shot you out of nowhere and it's dumb.
Mhm.
Um, I think Gigalorum is my favorite because it's a unique fight where you just
Mhm.
kite him the entire time. That's the like accepted modern strategy.
Mhm.
Um,
I've seen a lot of people kite Henwin too.
I've never seen him when kited. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
But typically Gigalorum is the one like people do a big full circle in, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's kind of like sortie 9 boss training wheels because you need to kite H and F. It's the same
Oh,
kind of
yeah. Yeah.
concept. You stay at distance and you have the paladin like cure themselves or flash from a distance, and everyone's wailing on it from behind.
Yeah.
And I like that
Yeah.
fight too because I got to use Staff Bard, which was fun.
Oh, did you? That's funny.
Hell yeah.
There you
I
go.
mean, I
They
think Gigalorum's the one that's like most memorable, is the most difficult to me. Maybe a little bit of Henwin because like he would do his like snort and then just annihilate you in one shot, no matter what you did.
Mhm.
But I don't really remember. I mean, Marmor Krebs I remember doing because it's like a magic strat,
Mhm.
and so that one stands out in my mind. But like, I don't remember the Snapweed or the Chipuli or even Prockney. Like, I don't even remember doing
Snappy
them.
is almost the same exact strategy as the Cricklaw,
Hmm.
except a different nuke, a different element. It's almost the identical fight.
Oh, okay.
Um, the least memorable in my mind, 100%, is Aristasius, the Tripoli. That's the least memorable.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
because it's not memorable, I would say it's my least favorite. I
Mhm.
don't
I
mind
would say it's my
challenging
favorite
fights.
because it was the easiest to do.
I don't mind challenging fights. If anything, the challenging fights that take me the longest to overcome become
Mhm.
my favorite because of all the memories I've accumulated doing them, even though they were frustrating in the moment.
Mm. Yeah.
Although I will say, like sheer earring, like the things that stand out to me are the things that have the best rewards. So like sheer is just like such a crazy good earring. Once you get it fully capped out, you've got store CP5 and you've got the attack and the double attack on there and the enmity reduction element to it. I'm just like that was my favorite fight because it felt like I was getting a huge upgrade by doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So all the effort was rewarded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think Marmacrebs doing Marmacrebs with a Ranger was one of my favorite ways to do a tier 2. I did not enjoy Gigalorum at all. And I don't know if our tank was just new, so we had struggles. But Gigalorum is kind of like if you're a DD, you're kind of like walking a tightrope, and you have to have your sheer earring kicking in. You have to have Dirge on. You have to make sure you're not pulling the hate. Again, we had a newer tank, so that might have
I was gonna
contributed
say
to it.
we didn't even have sheer earring at the time, but we did. We
Yeah,
definitely had to give like the monk dirge or the warrior dirge.
yeah. So that
And
was like our struggle.
if you pulled bait, you usually ended up losing immediately.
Yeah, yeah, you'd get fucked up really fast, or you'd get fully dispelled, or all that fun stuff. I like Henwin. I actually really like tanking Henwin. I think it's fun. I think it's hilarious seeing the pig get like zealous snort up and then just like bashing against your shield like
Like
500.
hits and
Um,
swing so fast, it's like really funny.
yeah, I think it was super fun. The only like tier 2 that I don't think I enjoyed was Raskovnich. It's just kind of like an awkward fight, and I think bursting arrow is the dumbest bullshit that they could have come up with. And
How is that any different from the ranger though? You could do the same exact strategy.
on Raskovnich,
Yeah, I mean, just
I
true flight,
don't
light, and first wind. It's the same
think
thing.
it resists True Flight more than Marmacrebs does, but I don't know. I haven't tried it, so it might be worth trying. I could be
I mean, I could
yeah.
be wrong. I the way I've always done it, you do the same exact team comp for both.
Yeah, I think True Flight just hits Marmacrebs harder, which it might make the
So it's more
difference.
satisfying.
But again, I haven't actually tried using a Ranger at Riskovnich, so I'm not sure. Um, and then favorite and least favorite tier 3 fellas.
My favorite has become Arabati.
Mm-hmm. That's
Dang.
fair.
I think
Arabati was sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my least favorite. Well, oh man, that's a tough one. It's between Ongo and Bose, just because both like Ongo, I'm a warrior brain only, and I don't understand magic, so that
Mm,
fight, I probably like slam my head against the longest, and and Bose was just like such a hard progression that it's scarred me. But
yeah, yeah. I think
Because
Mbose is kind of a weird fight.
because it's such a tightrope and it's stressful.
yeah,
Mm,
That's what makes it fun.
mm,
favorite. I mean, favorite. I really like I think that Kalunga again like was one of my favorites to do because we did it with procking it and like the satisfaction of like it feels like as a DD versus just spamming a weapon skill. I think instead of like you're just hitting your big button to do big damage, like you have to pay attention. The halos come out. You're managing your enmity as much as you can, but then
mm,
the halos pop and you switch immediately and you proc it in like 7 seconds somehow, and it's just like it feels like you're playing the game the way you should. So that was probably one of my favorites to do.
mm. I
With Kalunga win both, like I got to
mhm.
use Blue Mage on them, so they were fun for
Oh
that reason.
yeah.
Mm. I actually really like Kalunga because it feels like one of the very few fights left in the game where as a tank you're actually fulfilling your role and using every
Mm,
aspect of the job.
yeah.
Our body has that too, like to a degree, but obviously not for Paladin. And like I don't know, Kalunga felt very, very satisfying to play on Paladin, and then going back and doing it on Rune Fencer felt even more satisfying. So I really enjoyed that. But honestly, outside of Ongo, because Ongo is the worst ever, I don't ever want to do it ever again. I think all of the tier threes are super fun. I guess Embose too. Like Embose is okay. I've only ever gotten to go Beastmaster to Embose, so I don't really like have an opinion because nobody ever has Beastmaster. So I just have to like stand there and send my leech in every 20 seconds, and it's
What
kind
about
of
the other
boring.
key item? You on the other key item?
I was on Rune Fencer and I was just standing there like not
Oh, that's
doing
boring.
anything. Yeah, it was
You had the
boring as
worst.
fuck. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Embose is kind of boring.
I would
Ongo,
agree.
like Ongo, I think is just one of those fights where if you're tuned into it, you can get it done pretty easily and have a good time. And if your group is not tuned into it, you're gonna have a really, really bad time.
If you
But
pizza when you're supposed to French fry, you're gonna have a
mhm,
bad time.
yeah, exactly. And then which level of Bumble was your guys' favorite? V25, right? For sure.
Uh, V15 was the most fun because it was like the
Mm.
victory lap, and it was just like we did it. I'm so proud of
Yeah, you felt rewarding. It felt rewarding when you were doing it.
V25 was very stressful and full of many hardships where and heartbreak
Hmm.
where we got screwed by the RNG gods or something went slightly wrong and it just didn't tick down in time or whatever. I was gonna before you got to Bumba, I was gonna say, what is your favorite overall and least favorite overall? So we could both agree that Bumba V25 is our least favorite overall.
Oh yeah, no, it's terrible. I remember when
I
I
don't
did Bumble V25, it took me about 18 attempts to clear, and we were doing like 3 or 4 a night, and about halfway through, my classes kicked up, so I would be in class on Zoom while I was also kiting Bumba ads on Rune Fencer. and yeah, it was a pretty good time. Like I couldn't hear anything that my class was saying, but I got credit, so it was fine. And
Yeah.
then I was just, telling people that okay, I can gambit now and do whatever. It's fun. But Bumba sucks and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Okay. So earlier we were kind of talking about the state of Odyssey and how it's kind of aged relatively poorly, as far as like making groups go, as far as being rewarding for players that have cleared it already. And what have you guys seen like as far as that goes, and how would you recommend like new players attack this content?
I mean, I think that the core problem we touched on this earlier. The core problem with Odyssey as it ages is like eventually it hits a point where like the people that have done it and have the drive to do it or have the gear to do it, etc., that pool shrinks slowly over time. Every time somebody clears it, there's one fewer people in the pool that is willing to go through the suffering because there's literally no incentive to afterwards. Once you've got your stuff augmented, you don't need to go back because it's done and you don't get another reward. Um, so I can see that being really difficult for a new player or returning player to like feel like it's attainable because there's just so far fewer people. And I think that's the core problem.
The core problem with Odyssey is the repeat factor, like you're saying. But I would
Mhm.
say it stems more from like the fact that you can ooze every boss.
Mhm.
um
Hmm.
you require so much RP. It
Yeah.
it takes literally like 40 supercharged runs or something stupid. Like it's really bad. I'm exaggerating, but it's a
Yeah.
lot of time and effort, much more so than the time it took for you to like overcome the challenge and beat the boss. I think the best thing that they could do is like double or triple the RP reward if you defeat the boss
Yeah,
to
I think that was
incentivize
one of
you
the
to
biggest
Mm.
mistakes that they made was not scaling the RP better to how much damage and how
Yeah.
far you progress in the boss.
Like if you do 5 to 20%, it should do like whatever it does now. But if you do like 75 or 100%, it should double or triple or more than that. Like you should incentivize players to go back and help other players.
Well, and I think in order to do that, you have to give like some other conversion
Exemplar
where you can
points.
take your extra RP into something else so that like you're not just throwing away
Well,
exemplar points every wipe.
to that point, they added all the frickin' Unity rewards to segments, and
Yeah.
it's a terrible exchange rate. No sane human being will do that.
Hmm.
I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
There's
see, that'd be
make
great
it
if
like
like, you know,
Go
quick
ahead.
quick aside. Am I the only one that doesn't care about exemplar points? Like I feel like
yeah.
hear me out. Since Limbus came out, I feel like I'm drowning in fucking exemplar points. Do I have
Mm,
every job M50? Like no, obviously
yeah.
not. Do I like still need exemplar points on certain jobs? Yeah, but I could fucking put them on Limbus if I
No,
needed to.
but hear me out.
Like
Y-
go
That's
ahead.
how it should be.
Yeah.
And I think every piece of content should
Mhm.
reward exemplar points in kind similar
Mm,
to
Yeah,
mm.
Limbus.
I
Yeah,
The
agree.
that's
fact
fair.
that Odyssey doesn't is stupid.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's the same problem, right? When you're at the top of the mountain, when you've got your exemplar points done on your main job or your core jobs or whatever, and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. You know what I mean? Like you're looking back at it, and you're like, oh, I got it, I got enough, I'm capped. What do I need more for? But if you're a new player and you're like, how the hell do you get to M50? Like it's crazy.
I never
So
thought
if
I
there
was
are
gonna
more
get
options,
M50 on Warrior, and ever
yeah,
since Limbus comes out, now I'm afraid that I'm actually going to hit it. And
yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it. To be honest, I would have been happy staying at M45 for forever. I
yeah,
don't think I ever needed to go past that point, but Limbus is kind of forcing my hand, and
yeah.
it's gonna make me
Forcing you
M50.
to
Yeah,
get M50 is crazy.
against my will, I'm gonna have an M50 warrior. I might
In
have
the
to go
grand
do some
scheme,
Odyssey and lose some M levels. Go ahead, Dex.
in the grand scheme of things, right? Like the amount of exemplar you need to get to like M5, M10, even
Mhm.
M25 is very small. It's like a fraction of a fraction of what you need to get to ML50. If if any of the V25s, V20s rewarded a significant amount of exemplar to like ding people to 5 or
Mm,
boost them faster to 10, 15, 20, it would serve as a good way for people to overcome the hurdles of doing the climb the right way from scratch.
Mhm.
yeah. I
New
think,
players
well,
should
yeah,
be
yeah,
encouraged to go out and do it the right way, learn the
right,
fights at the lower difficulties, and progress while doing so.
yeah. I mean, I think
Mhm.
that like I 100% agree, and I think that that's like if I were to advise a new or returning player on how to approach Odyssey, that would be my recommendation. 100% is that you should climb it from the bottom. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't expect to jump into V15s or 20s or 25s. You should go through and learn the fights and go from the bottom. You'll build RP and slowly get stronger as you go. And that's great. But um you still have to find a group of people, that have diverse job sets, which can be fairly difficult, but that's just, part of the game. On
Yeah.
the like, I totally agree that exemplar points would be great. I think the easiest fix, in what I think they should do is they should add a shop category to Odyssey that's like Odyssey accolades or something. You know what I mean? And you can convert any of your RP into Odyssey accolades, and that's a totally different shop that you can buy an exemplar point book, or you could buy your uh crafting spheres. I don't know, like,
Mm,
and you could buy
okay.
anything, like you just different, kind of like the ambuscade model, where you can use that to progress whatever you're working on. So then it's an incentive to help other players because you can progress whatever it is that you do still need.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I don't mind that idea. I don't think they're gonna overcomplicate
Oh
things. Even though
no,
it would be
Yeah.
I
better if
don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna change anything. But like,
Yeah.
I do
it'd be
think
cool if they did.
like I like to say all the time that end game content should reward master points because that's how it should work. But I do agree that for typical players to want to go back and help other players, that's not a good carrot on a stick.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I had somebody mention that they thought they should make an ROE, a repeatable ROE, to get a plus
Mm,
2 earring if you like defeated all like 6 tier 3 V25s or something like that. And I kind of like that idea.
that's
I
not a
don't
bad
hate
idea.
that. It's weird to separate the content like that, but I
It
don't hate
is,
it.
but I don't know like what else, like what better carrot there could be out
Yeah,
there.
Well, consider
they
that
would do that.
there's an item in game that rewards just straight segments from Bonanza. Bonanza has been like not Bonanza, uh Vanabout. Vanabout has been their like way of testing the waters for like what they could do to make a new campaign or what things people would actually want to chase after. And they've done it in a few ways, like they did the item that gives segments, or they did the item that gives a third way of getting your shiny plate back.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um, they could just add that item that gives like a flat 10 or 20k, whatever it is, segments as ROEs, whether it be weekly or monthly, for do an A run, get the item that gives 10k segments. Do a B run, get the 10k
Hmm.
segment. Like do do this boss, get the 10k segments, and that would help people overall. It's not like a good solution for everything, but it's like every little bit counts. I don't understand why all the older content in the game, like when I came back to the game like during COVID, and there was an ROE link to like everything to do and you got rewards. Um Vagary was a weekly thing, or I think it's weekly. It might be monthly. But either way, it was a thing that you could repeat and get rewards. But then they stopped there, and everything else either had a one-time only ROE or it didn't even have an ROE.
Yeah.
I feel like all the end game content in the game should have both repeatable ROEs and uh, every 3-month campaigns that come around that augment the system. And they've neglected newer content that way, maybe intentionally to elongate the grind, but that doesn't feel good as a player.
You know what would be
I don't
nice is
think
if they added a Limbus ROE to get you a matter if you just like one extra matter if you complete all the runs or something. I mean, or just one extra matter per run. Fuck it. Just
who
give
is
me
that
the
hurting?
matter.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Hurts no one,
The
helps everyone,
longevity.
improves the economy.
No, that's the thing though, is that like, people, somebody's talking about or the sword earrings right now, um the segment distributions, how long Limbus takes. You have to remember that everything they do is about extending the amount of time
It's
you
intentional.
you need to play the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
I just
they're
think
not
they're
going to
overdoing
give you more shortcuts. Yeah,
it.
I agree. I don't think
It's
that
my
Limbus feels
criticism
good,
of them in general. Like
but yeah,
they catch more flies with honey, and
yeah.
they're like, well, we get all the flies we want with vinegar, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's frustrating.
That's the problem though. Is like we keep drinking the vinegar though. I'm still in Limbus. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm here right now, so I don't know.
But
Yeah.
while we are the players that are doing so, I know many that have left the room and don't want the honey or the vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say,
So
I wouldn't be surprised if they like don't fix this Limbus fiasco, if we see another mass exodus like we saw during Sortie.
Hmm.
Like
it was
I
I'm
mean,
sure
surprising
you guys
yeah.
noticed like
right
a
when the
lot of
primes
people.
got released, right? That a lot of
Yeah.
people were like, "That grind is way too long. I'm out."
Yeah, they saw the primes, they're like, fuck that, and they just quit.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like I don't know how accurate this is. It's just my personal sentiment thing.
Mhm.
Like I think that we're kind of feeling it a little bit right now, even with this like this January, February kind of lull where people are disappointed with like the NMs, like we had our fun, but like a lot of people can't engage. Like Myth and Dex, like they're not able to do them.
Mhm.
But then also like the road to finishing your Limbus augments is just like unachievable. It's going to take so long. It's boring. And so like, I mean, I feel like, and this is maybe it's just because I'm boring, but like when my over the course of a month or weeks or whatever, my like viewership on Twitch is dropping. I'm like, oh shit, less people are playing the game right now, huh?
Yeah.
And so like I feel like right now we're kind of in a dip where people are already getting disillusioned with Limbus and aren't really interested in the game as much as they were when
Mhm.
we were hyping up to it a couple months ago.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason you've also been losing viewers is because I've been DMing them to come to my
Oh
channel instead.
shit.
Yeah,
Damn it.
so I have been bribing people. If you're listening to this, please unsubscribe from Heghmoh and please come on over to. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but it is cutthroat on Twitch, so I wouldn't be
Mhm.
surprised if in a couple
Oh,
months I am
should
hard
I
up
follow
enough to do
again? I listened to you.
that.
1 second.
Yeah, man.
Oh, thanks.
Jeez. No. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really really hoping they do some nice stuff with these updates coming up. I'm hoping that we see the last Limbus update and that people actually like it next month. And I'm concerned for the outlook on like people that have been around for a while and want like the Limbus gear if we don't get an update that kind of throws us a bone here.
Well, to tie this back to Odyssey, right?
Mhm.
You were talking about how the longevity of Odyssey has diminished because people don't want to go back and newer
Right.
players find it harder. But also, like the Limbus gear itself is a direct competition to those sets of gear. And
Mhm.
if they do what we want and make the Limbus gear not take literal years, but maybe if they make it like 4 to 6 months, that still eliminates the need to do Odyssey for a lot of jobs, for a lot of pieces at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can bypass a lot of the Odyssey gear with some of this Limbus stuff, especially for a lot of sets like Gletties or
Oh yeah.
Particularly if it's
those.
easier to make, but yes,
Yeah,
overall, yeah.
for sure. So I guess make
It's a bad
Odyssey
thing now.
easier to access, fix the Odyssey problem, make Limbus more grindy, and that will fix that issue.
Well, Odyssey, like in truth be told, Odyssey's been out for quite a while now. It's scary to say it's been around for like 6 years. It's really fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's had a good life cycle, and overall, um, I don't know which dev or which director was in charge of it, but I would say Odyssey will be looked back on as one of the best pieces of content
Mm.
that they've added
Yeah.
to this.
I think a
Mhm.
lot of people would agree. Like a lot of people that have done the fights think they're the best fights in the game, etc. And I think that that's probably pretty true. Even not like when you look back on it later. Like I think a lot of people feel that way now.
Yeah,
I mean, I do like I wish that I really hope that this next patch does fix a lot of the concerns or issues with Limbus. I'm still like mind blown that this is the expectation. You know, it's like 10 hours a week of just grinding mobs, move up the floor, grind mobs.
for
I've
one
been
character.
playing like yeah, and like you get one accuracy or two accuracy out of it. And it's just like it doesn't feel particularly good. And I've been playing other games recently that like, you know, have like grindy content or like are repeatable, but just have like a gameplay mechanic that feels fun. Like, you know, like I if you're playing something with like a roguelike mechanic where imagine every time you cleared a tower in Limbus, you you get your data and as you exit, you get from your menu, like select your buff, and like you get a random thing where it's like mob special defense -5%, weapon skill damage +10. And like as you do that, it encourages you to keep going longer periods of time, because by the time you're done with your Limbus climbs, your 5 chests, you're just like ridiculously busted. And it's like and like maybe that's not the best solution, but it's like imagine if they designed a fun gameplay mechanic instead of just like, oh yeah, kill
It's-
stuff for
Imagine if
5
this game was
hours.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. On that note,
Well, amazing
thanks,
stream, right?
guys. That's it for the day. That's the end of the show. No, I'm just kidding. I don't
Did you
want
hit
to end
record?
on. No, what were you saying, Dex?
Did you hit record?
I did, but we're gonna pull the VOD anyway.
So proud of you.
Because we missed like the first half an hour. So, okay, so I don't want to end on a negative note because
Let's be
Heghmoh's
happy, I
being
guess.
just because Heghmoh's been on the verge of
Is in
crashing out for
Limbus,
like the last 3
yeah.
weeks because of Limbus and other
Yeah.
miscellaneous things.
I could go on. I was crashing out on Scoopy, my wife, earlier. We're talking about Limbus and other games and people's reactions when I want to play other games, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds boring," and I'm like, "We're in Limbus, and this is the most boring thing." But yeah.
Okay. Well, on the plus side, you only have 4 to 6 more years of it before you're completely done.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true. That's true. That's true.
I'm hoping here's my hope. I want in a year or two for them to add content where this gear that we have actually matters. That's my goal. Because my biggest hesitation about like doing the Limbus grind and everything, even though I've been doing it and I've been consistently, trying to get my weekly matters and everything, is what are we going to use this gear for? Because right
So
now,
you want the next
Mhm.
Odyssey, right?
Yeah, yeah, or I want like Limbus to have more challenging options. I don't think it needs to be the next Odyssey, but I think it would like I want there to be an option for players that want to continue having challenging fights to just do that
I
while
think
while people can
inherently,
still do the normal climbs and stuff.
I get that. I just think inherently Limbus will never truly have that because it's designed to be like open world.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but
No, well,
we
yeah,
we
and
need
I think
something to fill
Limbus.
that hole then.
I think in the past year, at least, a lot of the content that's come out, Limbus, all the Besieged changes that they keep doing, keep rolling out updates for Besieged. All this stuff has been about like filling a gap between end game and early end game, like where it's filling a progression gap. It's catering to new and returning players. But I do think that there's like a long-standing player base that's looking for the next thing, that's like we run into a gear wall where we're like, oh crap, we need to be stronger to finish this. Not, oh, this is
Right.
nice filler gear for a job that I might not play. Like
Yeah. So
100%
the
agree.
what you said is exactly what I said to defend Limbus when it first came out, is that it's kind of like the middle ground. It's
Yeah.
meant to be for like people who maybe can't get into the higher tier of Odyssey but like want
Yeah.
to have options for things like that. The problem is now that we're getting gear that is comparable and in some places better than Odyssey gear. What the
Yeah.
fuck are we going to use that for?
Yeah. Well, and yeah, like ultimately that's the answer, is that like that's for the new and returning players who didn't get the V25 Odyssey gear. They now have a progression path that doesn't require them to go back to Odyssey, doesn't require them to do Lilith grinds, etc. And so like it isn't super, it's minimally enticing to you because you might get to use it for some side thing, or you might get to be 1% more efficient on your Ammonon clear or whatever. But for a new and returning player, they're like, oh cool, this is gear that I can seek out that's going to be as good or comparable. It's worth the effort.
I guess the question would be, if do you think that once these newer players have this gear, they're gonna then go back to Odyssey and do that, and that's just the new like
In
route
some
that the devs
cases,
want?
but a lot of it will be outclassed.
Right. So that's
Yeah, I think.
that's
I mean,
kind of what
yeah,
my point is. Like we need something
yeah,
to use this gear for, even when the newer players are starting to get it. And
100%.
maybe
No,
that's
and
maybe that's
I agree
further
with
down
that.
the line. But that there's still that void right now. So
I
in
do
a
agree,
year or
and I
two,
think
when
that
they
like,
start building that new content, that's what I'm hoping for.
and maybe that's the last stage of Limbus is like high, yeah, like they kind of alluded to high tier battles or something like that, where it's like maybe these fights will be hard for a party, and it's like this is what you use your Limbus gear for, and it gives you faster progression or something. I don't know. Somebody in chat mentioned master trials, and it's like, yeah, those are really hard fights, but they're achievement fights. Like they're not like
They're not for the
progression
general
fights.
population.
Yeah. And so like it master trials just give a lock style as a reward, and a title, or what, the satisfaction. So if there's not really a carrot to chase on those aside from the I want to do it to do it.
I do think
Yeah.
there is like decent stuff on the horizon between those 3 high tiers that they've already confirmed. I
Right.
just don't think they're
Oh
going
yeah.
to be so
Yeah.
difficult that they require Limbus gear. It's just not.
You
Well,
know
that's the other
what?
thing. I feel like those high tiers that come out are probably going to be the same caliber of like in between gear. But
Mhm.
Yes.
You know what? I've heard enough. I've seen enough. Give me V30 Odyssey. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be terrible.
3 pets.
Yeah, yeah. Just give it more artificial difficulty with more pets and more one shots for no reason.
Actually, instead of a pet, you go into V20, you go into V30 Kalunga, and there's just 2 Kalungas. There's no pets.
just and you have to kill both of them in 15 minutes. That sounds
Boomba
great.
Boomba V30 just spawns like a
Yeah.
Kieran, like
It
a
just does denounce from
Koryu.
99%.
Like it does it's like Koryu, and it just spawns Embos and Ongo, or two random V30s along with it. Yeah.
Oh, Bumba
Hell yeah.
spawns the tier 3s instead of pets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it'd be hilarious.
You just zone into that little like castle pit, and instead
Mhm.
of Bumba, it's Absolute Virtue.
Mhm.
He has
Mhm.
every weapon, every SP
All right, this
equally.
is going to be the last thing that I bring up. Is going to be what we close
I
on.
thought you wanted to end on
This
something
is
positive.
this is
Hold on.
well here this is the question. This is the question. Are we getting jaded, guys? Are we being
Oh,
negative Nancy's
absolutely.
right now? Are we bad
Uh,
representatives of the
Jaded?
community?
Me?
Look, I think I have been very open about how close to crash out I am on my jadedness with Limbus. So I don't think it's a question there, but yes, probably a bad. Although I've been ranting and raving. This is how far off, how turned off I am on Limbus. I have been for the past week just like super excited and enjoying myself doing Adeline quests and unlocking trust in
Hell yeah.
Ottergon.
That sounds great.
That's literally what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the game as a whole lately because I don't want to do the end game content anymore.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that answers that question. I guess to wrap it up, we're sorry for everyone listening. Um, we'll try to get into a
We'll
better
do better next
headspace for the
time.
next episode. And hopefully, please don't unsubscribe. In fact, if you're feeling really generous, throwing out a follow or a subscribe to Heghmoh's channel or
Mhm.
my channel would be super appreciated. It might even be enough to drag us out of this spiraling pit of depression, though
Yeah.
I doubt it. But I guess there's only one way to find out. That's all
Look,
I got,
we can
guys.
play can you cut in that commercial I gave you that's like the Eyes of the Angel song playing in the background? It's like one
Mm.
one subscription can save one content creator in the Final Fantasy 11.
You too can
Yeah.
help by donating.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, send us emails if you want us to do any detailed breakdowns of Odyssey fights. We can do that. But we need like specific ones. I'm not going to go through every single one because that's a lot of content.
Mhm.
And yeah, thanks.
And
That's all I got.
yeah, if you could just send Myth emails about how he should do a series of that Dex and Myth taking Heghmoh through V25s, because that would be the best way to teach everybody is
If
to
you can convince
add.
Square Enix to open Asura, I will gladly move to Shiva and do that.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.